Okay. We're just going to. I'm not gonna lie. Do we keep on watching this or nah? Cause this shit ain't funny, bro. Realistically, this shit ain't funny. Do I keep on watching this or not? Bet. So what the hell should we watch? And please don't suggest some fucking TOS shit. Please, I beg of you, bro. I really beg. I really beg. Please don't be TOS. Please, I beg of you, bro. Thank God I can't watch this. Shit is not funny. Shit just dead ass made me cringe. At this point, fuck it. What should we do? Watch something we find interesting? But what the hell do we find interesting? I'm doing this for y'all. I'm basically you guys' puppet. I can't lie. So it's really just whatever you guys gotta do. It really is. You guys can send me a link and I'll watch it. Just make sure it has no TOS. I don't want to get banned first day, bro. I can't get banned. Watch what? Oh, that says you lit. Holy spelling errors. I'm fucking tweaking balls. Alright. Should we just watch FaZe Clan at this point? Because I can't explain why I left FaZe, so I'm going to let my brothers talk about why we left FaZe.
A lot of this was really heavy. We were up to
I forgot I was already watching this video.
Want to build a tech career that lasts? WGU's computer science degree teaches the skills that power AI and the systems.
Obviously, this isn't a joke. I know y'all see Silky is not here right now.
Wait. I have a feeling it was. Nah. Let's see if I can find one, bro. How do I spell documentary again? What type of documentary? What? Killer husband realized wife is still. All right, yeah, we watching
Police department,
this. What the
police
fuck?
department.
Hello, help,
Yes.
please.
This is 37-year-old Jimmy Allen. Jimmy just discovered his wife's body in the basement of their Michigan home. 18 minutes earlier,
my God,
he
it's where
placed
I
this
live.
911 call.
Okay, what's going on there?
She's in the basement.
Somebody called.
Pulled her up. I tried to give her CPR. I pulled her off.
The
What's
dispatcher
the
instructed
video
Jimmy
again?
to continue giving Amy CPR while several units rushed to the scene.
This nigga killed
Officer
his
Ben
husband.
J. Horn was the first to arrive. Despite the desperation
You're
in
not on
Jimmy's
my
voice
way, bro.
during the
Chill,
911
bro.
call,
I'm not
it was
looking at
eerily
you.
silent as Officer Horn approached the residence. However, as soon as the officer made himself known, Jimmy began crying out for help.
Police department, police department.
Hello, help,
Yes.
please.
Bro.
Jimmy was found in the basement, sobbing over his unresponsive wife's body. As he grieved, he continued performing CPR.
How long has she been down? Do you have any idea?
Like 6 or 7
Do you have any idea?
Give me more than about 20 minutes.
Okay.
Oddly enough, Amy didn't have any significant injuries, except for a very faint mark near her jugular. By 8:57 p.m.,
What
more
did he do
officers
to her?
arrived along with several EMTs. They piled into the basement to take over Jimmy's life-saving efforts. Now that Jimmy had a moment to process what was going on, he dramatically ripped his shirt off and broke down on the basement floor.
So you tell me this nigga just dead ass decided to like strip naked because his wife died? Let's be serious. I nigga wanted to fuck other girls. Come on, be serious, guys. I know tell what
He
type
was
of man
able to
he is.
quickly compose himself and continued to observe the EMTs aiding Amy. Jimmy alternated between complete composure and emotional outbursts several times.
You want to come upstairs with me real quick? Okay.
As you can see, Jimmy seemed calm as he walked up the basement stairs, but as he entered the kitchen, he unleashed his wrath onto an unsuspecting bowl of potato chips.
Nigga, what?
The officers weren't sure what to make of this erratic behavior, especially since they had no clue what led up to the discovery of Amy's body.
Did she make any statements at all?
Jimmy gave the officers a quick summary of his and Amy's night. At around
Why does
6:30
bro still
p.m.,
not
the
have a
couple
shirt
dropped
on?
their daughter and her friend off at a near...
Wait. I think this might be the area I live. We're gonna pull up.
by high school football game and then
You'll
headed
find that shorty
downtown
pull
for
up.
some drinks. While at a bar, they got into an argument and Amy ended up
gay man, I
walking
don't
home
care anymore.
alone while Jimmy drove home in their car. When Amy got back home, the arguing continued, so he left her alone to cool off. He went upstairs and threw on the Jim Carrey film Ace Ventura. When it
Niggas
was
can't
time
be
to
serious.
pick up their daughter, he went to check on Amy again.
I just irritated and I didn't hear anything, so I went back down and checked on her.
Did Amy have a history of anything like this? Nothing in her background at all?
Ever.
Okay.
The officers found it strange that Amy would escalate things to this degree out of nowhere, but nobody seemed as shocked as Jimmy.
I'm hoping I wake up, dude.
Unfortunately for Jimmy, this was a nightmare that he wouldn't be waking up from. But suddenly, an EMT emerged from the basement with a glimmer of hope.
Huh? What?
Says she's fighting.
Can someone get this nigga a shirt? This is actually kind of making me mad. I feel like concerned.
The EMTs were able to re-establish a faint pulse, so Amy was still clinging to life. But when Jimmy realized that his wife was still breathing, he seemed frustrated by this promising news. His reaction immediately set off red flags for the officers. Jimmy then left the room momentarily to grab a new shirt, and when he
This nigga
came
hated
back,
his
he
wife
called his
that
daughter
bad?
Ashley to inform her of the emergency.
We had an emergency. Don't go anywhere. There's an emergency. Don't go anywhere. I'll talk to you in a little bit.
Jimmy didn't want Ashley to panic over the phone, so he kept his composure and didn't share any details of what had happened. But right after that phone call, he called his parents and spilled his heart out.
Oh, I don't know what to do, Mom. I don't know what to do. This is terrible.
Nigga.
I gotta talk to the cops.
Although Jimmy was
Not gonna be
crying
like
his
him,
heart
bro.
out, the
Chill.
officers spotted no moisture on his face at all. They decided to have him wait outside, away from the crime scene. Shortly after,
Wait, did she
Amy was
actually
placed on a
die?
stretcher
Am I
and
tweaking?
taken to the back of an ambulance. They rushed her to the ProMedica Herrick Hospital, just 2 minutes away. The EMTs were finished in the basement, so the officers headed back inside to do further investigation. Now that the dust had settled, they immediately noticed something strange. The basement ceilings were very low, so low that they began to question the logistics of Jimmy's story. Amy was 5 foot 6 inches, and the basement ceiling wasn't much higher, roughly 7 feet. But rather than jumping to conclusions, the investigators decided to wrap things up for the night. The next morning, Officer Horn and his partner returned to the Allen household to ask Jimmy some more questions. They hoped to get a better understanding of what led up to the incident. According to Jimmy, the family started their day in high spirits by making breakfast together and getting Ashley ready for school.
Just listening to music and making lunch and breakfast, smile on her face.
At around 7:30 a.m., Jimmy left for work and Ashley left for school, while Amy stayed home. Jimmy decided to leave work early, so around 12:30 p.m., he came home and took a nap. Then, at 2:45 p.m., the school day was over and it was time to pick up Ashley.
Ashley had a friend over, Kayla.
Wait,
After
Chad, is
school.
Ashley the wife or the kid? I'm confused. I'm like halfway paying attention to this. That's why I'm drinking an energy drink. Ah, thank you, brother.
Amy picked her up and I was just kind of in bed. And they came here. She made everybody dinner. 6:30. We rolled out to take them to the game.
After a nice family dinner, everybody hopped in the car and drove to the Tecumseh High School for the football game. As mentioned before, Jimmy and Amy dropped off the girls and decided to head downtown to go bar hopping. They first went to Ember's Bar and Grill. then to JR's hometown grill and pub shortly after. Investigators would later...
Wait. I know I'm pausing a lot. My bad, but like... How old is the kid? Did he just say they went bar hopping? That seems like bro might have to catch a case. I'm not gonna lie. He's trying to get his daughter drunk to you now. Just saying, bro.
Later confirmed this part of Jimmy's story by obtaining the security footage from JR's. Apparently, nothing seemed out of the ordinary until Jimmy brought up the idea of selling their house and moving down south. Since the family had just moved to Michigan from Florida 1 year earlier, Amy was not fond of this idea. She began texting someone on her phone and became dismissive of Jimmy's comments.
She said a couple of times that, oh, that's not going to work. And she's normally positive and was sort of down and negative. And we started to disagree about it. And she's like, you know, I hope that works out for you. And I'm like, what do you mean me? I'm talking about our life. Like, and this isn't hardcore planning. This is like you talking about, you know, our future. And she just, oh, I hope that works out for you.
Jimmy said that this comment sparked an argument between the two. By the time they left the bar, things were very tense. Amy decided that she would rather walk home than sit with Jimmy any longer. This was also confirmed by this surveillance footage, which captured Amy walking down the street, heading in the direction of their house. Amy arrived home at 7:58 p.m. She grabbed an extension cord and then went down to the basement. At 8:05 p.m., Jimmy decided to go check on her.
She's petting Louie, one of our cats, and what the hell are you doing in the basement?
Apparently, Amy was angry at him for slamming the door in her face as they left the bar. But according to Jimmy, it was just an accident. He did forget to hold the door for her, but he didn't slam it intentionally. Amy didn't believe that it was an accident, so she started throwing...
How do I do that? Would it be in settings or no? What's good? How do I turn down volume? Bottom left. What bottom left? Oh. Oh, I was looking at bottom right for a second.
Insults at him, and the two proceeded to argue for
this
about
is not
10
better.
minutes.
I had to have this
Nothing good was coming from this argument,
better?
so Jimmy went back upstairs, leaving Amy in the basement with
Yo,
the
to nigga that just said I know where you live.
About 25...
Oh, you lucky I can't say no. It'll be fuck. Oh, I got banned as fuck. Jesus Christ.
minutes later, at 8:40 p.m., Jimmy realized that it was time to pick up Ashley from the football game.
You're one lucky ass man.
Before he left, he went back to the basement to squash the beef with Amy.
And immediately.
Oh. My bad for pausing this much.
We do that and started, you know, check for pulse. When I glanced down there, I saw there looked like a upturned kitty litter pail.
Wow.
Huh. Because I'm like, like I said, it was just so, sure.
The officer asked if there were any signs that something like this might happen, but Jimmy said that he could never have seen this coming.
You know, spent all night kind of thinking and playing back what triggered what was.
Has she ever tried anything like this before?
She's never had anything ever. Like, we live a healthy lifestyle. We work out. We go rock climbing 3 times a week in Ann Arbor. We like.
I know that place.
Home. We grow our own vegetables out here. Money trouble. No, I mean this is like the pinnacle of best job I've ever had. I make great money. She's a stay-at-home mom.
Bro. I
takes care of the 5 cats, the pool, and is there for my daughter doing
4
sports and activities.
No one's getting timed out.
He and his partner took a more thorough search of the home, and Jimmy agreed. With the help of their new recruit, Louie, Jimmy's cat, the officers scoured every room in the household, hoping to find any clues that could explain last night's incident. They weren't able to find any bombshell evidence, but they did collect several items that belonged to Amy, including her computer and cell phone. Following their search, Officer Horn headed back outside to speak with Ashley. She was visibly shaken up by the incident, but the detectives needed to know if...
Wait, is that the daughter right there? Is this the daughter? That's a fine ass specimen. I killed love.
Amy and Jimmy had a history of violent altercations.
It's like,
Were your mom and dad fighting
how long?
yesterday that you recall?
Damn, we're only like almost 10 minutes in. We still have like 20 minutes left. Jesus Christ.
When you left?
I'm tired of pausing this shit.
Is there
I'm
a
not
history
pausing
of
it no more.
like fighting or arguing or anything like that? Nothing ever? Okay.
The officer also asked about Amy's state of mind, but Ashley said that even though her mom was a deeply introverted person, she had always been emotionally stable. This interview wasn't as fruitful as the officers had hoped, but shortly after, they were approached by several of Amy's family members. They said that Jimmy waited 14 hours to tell them about the incident. As soon as they heard the news, they rushed over to the police department because they had an abundance of useful information for the police. The investigators learned that back in 1997, when Amy was just 13, she had a son named Caleb. Her parents looked after Caleb while she attended high school in Ocala, Florida. By the end of high school, she began dating Jimmy, who had no problem becoming a father figure to Caleb. When Amy was 19, they had Ashley, and from that point on, Amy stayed home to take care of the kids while Jimmy worked. However, according to Amy's family, this wasn't her choice. They believed that Jimmy was a controlling husband who didn't want Amy to become financially independent. He would monitor everything the family did, from their social media activity to what they were eating throughout the day. He would also discipline the kids if he believed they were misbehaving, frequently taking things too far. Whenever Amy stood up to Jimmy, her opinion didn't seem to matter. Whatever Jimmy wanted, Jimmy got. So when Caleb turned 17, he left to stay with his grandparents. Jimmy retaliated, telling Amy that she was no longer allowed to speak with her family, including Caleb. One of the last times Caleb saw her was at his high school graduation a year before the incident. But other than that, Amy had minimal involvement in Caleb's life. All of this evidence was extremely damning for Jimmy. It wouldn't be a surprise if an abusive and controlling husband tried to murder his wife. But if the police wanted to bulletproof their case against Jimmy, they needed to answer one big question. What was Jimmy's motive? Unfortunately, before the investigators could answer this question, they received tragic news.
I bet like
on September 17th, 2018, after being unresponsive for 3 days, Amy was taken off of life support and pronounced dead. With a possible...
Bro, R.I.P. though. I think I did that correct. R.I.P.
homicide now on their hands, the authorities pressed on with their investigation. They decided to look for answers in Amy's cell phone. In her text with Jimmy, his controlling behavior was on full display. He had somehow been tracking Amy's every move. He would frequently text Amy her exact location and ask her why she was there. Despite all of Jimmy's torment, Amy seemed completely fine in her other conversations. This evidence strengthened the case against Jimmy, but the detectives still couldn't pinpoint an exact motive. That was until they looked through a conversation with a man named George. George was a married man from the East Coast that Amy had met online and had been texting for the past 3 years. Based on the explicit content of the messages, it was clear that they were having an affair. Even on the day of the incident...
Nigga, I was right! Sorta. It was the wife that cheated instead of the husband. GG's.
Amy and George were consistently texting and calling each other. While Amy was having dinner with her family at 5:07 p.m., George texted her saying, "I wish we could be together right now." At 5:29 p.m., Amy responded with, "I'm excited to see you again." And remember when Amy began texting somebody during the argument at JR's Grill and Pub? It turns out that she was texting George, even with Jimmy sitting directly beside her. From these findings, a new theory emerged. Perhaps Jimmy had caught a glimpse of these text conversations and was overcome with anger, which ultimately led to him attacking Amy in the basement. The investigators were eager to ask Jimmy some more questions, but they ran into a small problem. Jimmy was nowhere to be found. It turns out that just a few days after the incident, Jimmy and Ashley packed their belongings, including their 5 cats, and headed back to their hometown, Ocala, Florida, to stay with their family. Thankfully, the authorities were easily able to get in touch with Jimmy to arrange another interview. He told them that he would be back in Michigan in a few weeks to grab some of his stuff, since the Tecumseh Police Department had limited personnel and resources. The Michigan State Police had taken over the investigation, and Detective Larry Rothman was put on the case. 1 month after Amy's death, he met Jimmy at the station for a formal interview. During his stay in Florida, Jimmy had plenty of time to reflect on his relationship with Amy, and he was forthright with the detective about his shortcomings.
Wasn't so inner focused and self-focused, and maybe I could have seen some things that were going on that maybe could have clued me into what my wife was in so much turmoil that I couldn't even see it. I mean, that's how it feels. Like, I don't even know who I am.
It's hard to believe this statement from Jimmy, because moments later, when asked to describe himself, he gives an awfully detailed answer.
Describe yourself. What kind of a person are you?
I would say I'm a type A personality. I like structure, organization. I'm ambitious.
Ambitious of killing his wife.
Seeking to improve myself and others around me. That's why all this is so pressing to me, is because like I had really taken measures in the last couple of years to like make sure that myself and my family were like mentally mentally healthy, like pursuing things that not only get you the goal, like, but helping others, being kind, making it, like I said, making the same thing, that type of person I am, making a positive impact on people.
Without a doubt, Jimmy's obsession with creating the perfect family was immensely toxic. However, Jimmy seemed to take pride in this toxic behavior, framing it as a strength. He believed that his role in the family was to hold them to a higher standard. No matter how much Jimmy painted himself as an upstanding family man, the detectives
I think I'm too dumb to watch this video. I'm going to keep it a buck.
Now, where you're at now, does anything pop out at you?
Yeah, there's, I mean...
Wait, did he say pop out? So you gotta pop out and show niggas.
My wife had some issues. And,
what kind of issues?
She struggled from like social anxiety, so she's been like that for years. She's just extremely shy, introverted person. She never developed relationships in Memorial Ocala. She didn't have any friends. She was playing like video games compulsively, that World of Warcraft thing. That got out of hand, so she just sort of started isolating herself. And so I had taken measures to, when we got up here,
the brother decided to help out his wife at all.
Jimmy is painting himself as a valiant savior, guiding his wife away from her bad habits towards a healthy lifestyle. But as we mentioned earlier, everybody who was close to Amy said that Jimmy was the main cause of her isolation. While asking Jimmy about infidelity in the relationship, he revealed that Amy wasn't the only one cheating.
There was one time when
I was right!
And hooked up with this chick.
Anytime during your marriage, do you know if she was unfaithful to you?
I don't think that would be possible.
Why is that?
She didn't seem to have the capacity to, like, talk to people, man. I mean, she was, like, incredibly introverted.
Clearly, Jimmy underestimated Amy's charm. Later in the interview, the detective set the record straight, bluntly telling Jimmy that Amy was, in fact, having an affair.
What was your knowledge of her affair?
I don't think she had an affair. To my knowledge, I have no idea. I wouldn't think it was possible.
There was a lot of stuff that she had tried to delete there, but, I mean, we're talking, telling this other guy she loves him.
I think that you're bullshit.
I'm not. I'm not going to lie to you today, and I haven't. You know, so
I'll just tell you right now, I don't believe it.
Jimmy seemed to be in denial, so the detective printed off some excerpts from Amy's conversations with George, some more risque than others.
The chats lead up to the board meeting the same day that this happened. Clearly, there was something going on between these two people.
As someone who had a say in every aspect of Amy's life, he seemed completely blindsided by her secret life with George. He wanted more answers.
Can you pull phone?
Wait.
See if there's any...
ASMR. My bad.
Numbers that I can see that I don't recognize. And that's like, to me, is crushing to think that she even has some, like I legitimately, I still don't all the way believe you guys. I'm sorry. I don't think that she has the capacity to do that. Like I said, this is the most shocking, like, I can't even process it.
In a last-ditch effort to elicit a confession, the detective asked Jimmy if he would take a polygraph test. Jimmy agreed and maintained his innocence the entire time. Ultimately, the test results were inconclusive. The detective wrapped up the interview, less certain about Jimmy's involvement than before. Jimmy was allowed to leave, and he went back to Florida later that day. The police struggled to find any new leads, so they had no choice but to wait for the medical examiner to release Amy's autopsy report. That day finally came, 3 months after Amy's death. It was confirmed that the cause of death was strangulation asphyxiation, but the manner of death was undetermined, requiring additional investigation. The ball was back in Detective Rothman's court, but finding more evidence to determine whether or not this was a homicide was easier said than done. He meticulously looked through all of the evidence, including the body cam footage. He stumbled upon the moment that Officer Horn noticed how low the basement ceiling was, and he suddenly had an idea. Rothman reached out to a forensic engineering lab in Michigan and asked them to recreate the scenario Jimmy had supposedly stumbled upon. After many months of preparation, testing, and analyzing the results, the lab determined that under the same circumstances, her feet would have made contact with the ground. A different forensic pathologist reviewed the same test results, and they determined that her manner of death must have been a homicide. On October 16, 2020, Jimmy was charged with 1 felony count of open murder. This meant that if the case went to trial, it would be up to the jury to determine the degree of homicide Jimmy is guilty of, anywhere from involuntary manslaughter to first-degree murder. By this point in the investigation, it appeared that Jimmy, who was still staying with his parents in Florida, had moved on entirely. In fact, he even had a new fiancée, and their wedding was just 5 days away. But before they could tie the knot, Jimmy was arrested and extradited back to Michigan. Once he was booked into jail, he was brought into a room to have his charges explained to him. When told that he could contact the investigators if he had any questions, Jimmy said something peculiar.
If you have any questions, feel free to get a hold of us, or they can contact us. Okay?
That's how you sleep at night. Oh.
You guys want some?
Well, I guess I don't understand that question.
Okay.
A few weeks later, at his arraignment hearing, Jimmy pled not guilty.
Open up your
his
mouth.
bond was set at $10 million, and he was put behind bars. Leading up to his trial, his defense attorney Daniel Guerin released this statement. Mr. Allen vehemently asserts his innocence in this case, as he had absolutely nothing to do with Amy Allen's tragic death. He cooperated with police throughout the 2-year investigation and provided evidence and statements showing his innocence from the very beginning. He has been in jail for nearly a year for a crime he did not commit, and he misses his family dearly. He is looking forward to the evidence finally being shown to a jury of his peers so they can see clearly that he is innocent and did absolutely nothing wrong. In September of 2021, 3 years after Amy's death, his trial began. Prosecutor Angie Borders kicked off the opening statements. She said that her team was confident that the evidence would point the jury to a guilty verdict. Defense attorney Daniel Guerin delivered the defense's opening statement, saying that there was no substantial evidence to support the prosecution's theory, and their case did not add up.
The people want you to believe that Jimmy Allen, for reasons nobody explains or guesses or understands why, snaps after 15 years of marriage, brutally kills his wife, goes up into cover-up mode, does all of this cover-up, and then gets the police there at 8:52 to start showing them evidence of this hanging.
They also pointed to Jimmy's...
how did he kill his wife again? I'm confused. How did he kill the wife? Because it don't make sense to me. How did I do kill his wife? Shit.
Search history that night, suggesting that murder was the last thing on Jimmy's mind.
The phone searches they get from Jimmy's phone that shows that he's looking at searches for Jim Carrey movies and other Showtime shows, the exact shows that he had told police that night that he had watched.
One of the key witnesses for the prosecution was Amy's son Caleb, He told the court about an altercation with Jimmy while he still lived at home.
I stood up, pushed him against the wall, and there was a second of fear that came over me, and I realized what I was doing.
No shit, you were gonna...
And then
I can't say that
I
on
was spun around, or maybe I turned around, and then I was choked from behind on the floor for multiple seconds. It felt like forever during the incident, and I was gasping for air, grabbing for anything, trying to get away from him.
This
y'all do that to me?
Story suggested that Jimmy had a history of choking people when he got angry. If he was willing to choke Caleb, it's reasonable to assume that he was willing to choke Amy as well. Several witnesses that were at the scene that night were also called to the stand, including first responders and neighbors. They all testified that Jimmy's over-the-top reactions seemed like he was putting on an act. Jimmy's behavior throughout the body cam footage supported this. There were several moments where he would be sobbing uncontrollably,
This is terrible.
but would instantly compose himself to answer the officer's questions.
I gotta talk to the cops.
On top of Jimmy's questionable behavior, Officer Horn also noted that Amy's injuries did not align with Jimmy's story.
I was definitely looking for any injuries, whether it be from a hang or otherwise, and I really didn't see any sort of the typical injuries that I would have seen in a hanging, so I definitely took note of that.
Later in the trial, a hospital staff member that treated Amy agreed with Officer Horn's observations, saying that the lack of external injuries suggested foul play.
No visible injuries.
No visible injuries. Is that strike you as odd?
It was a red flag.
One witness that nobody expected was none other than Mystery Man George.
And was there occasion
Oh my
where
God,
you
he's
used
back?
person that Amy Allen
So you swear?
on the internet?
Yes.
So you swear he's
we
back?
spoke online often. We talked about life. But we also,
excuse me,
there was a little bit of sexual content. That's what we talked about.
For the most part, George and Amy communicated through text and video calls, but the more they got to know each other, the more eager they were to see each other in person.
Now, had you ever met Amy in person?
Yes, twice.
The first time the two met up was in spring of 2017 to grab some coffee. The second time was several months later when Amy met George in a hotel room.
Do you think they cracked? Not bad.
I was here for work, and she had some free time, so she came to the hotel.
So you're at a hotel?
Yes,
Did things that happen at a hotel happen at that hotel?
some things, yes.
Apparently, George and Amy's love for each other only grew as time went on. Even on the day of her death, Amy showed no signs of wanting to slow down.
I wrote, I love you. And I wrote, I want more of you. And she wrote, I love you too. I'm ready to spend time with you in person. And I wrote, good. Let's do it. And then
R.I.P., but that's kind of
she
wild
wrote end of
work. I can't
October.
lie.
And I wrote, I'm in.
Dr. Elizabeth Buck also played a crucial role in the prosecution's case. During her testimony, she took the jury through the extension cord experiment we mentioned earlier.
The first question that Detective Rothman asked was, can an extension cord suspend 140 pounds? The testing was performed. The answer is no.
According to the prosecution, the results of her tests were more than enough to debunk Jimmy's story. When it was the defense's turn to call witnesses, they had Jimmy's father testify. According to him, Jimmy didn't flee the state because he was guilty. It was because Jimmy's family urged him to stay with them in Florida.
He seemed somewhat composed, but totally shattered, and almost empty, if you would. I'd never seen him like that before or since. He was almost non-responsive. He seemed to have lost interest in anything.
Ashley also testified on her father's behalf. The day after the incident, she had said that her mother had always been stable. But now, 3 years later, her story had completely changed.
Did you notice anything from your vantage point that was a problem that you behaviors or issues that you saw when your mom was drinking alcohol?
Two things. Yes, my mother overindulged in
She is
alcohol
not
frequently,
bad,
and
She
she
is not bad.
became intoxicated very easily and frequently as well, which would cause her to be not herself at all. She would be meaner and more violent.
When Amy was placed under intensive care, her blood alcohol content was recorded at 0.09%, likely caused by the 2 or 3 drinks that she consumed at the bars that night. The defense said that this was proof of Amy's drinking problem and that she wasn't as chipper as the prosecution had suggested. They also questioned the forensic pathologist who claimed that this was a homicide. To dispute this notion, the defense had actually reached out to their own expert, Dr. Francisco J. Diaz. According to Dr. Diaz, since there was minimal bleeding to the strap muscles of the neck, no petechiae, and no evidence of defensive-type injuries, he believed that Amy's death was not the result of somebody else's actions. The defense had called all of their witnesses, but they had a lot more to say in their closing arguments. They said that the prosecution's case was utter speculation, and the fact that Jimmy had 0 defensive marks on him was proof of that.
Anyone puts you in a chokehold, you're going to scratch the you-know-what out of his arms. Because you're fighting for life, you're fighting for that air hunger, and you're trying to stay alive.
They also said that even though Amy and George's relationship seemed to be flourishing, it was actually just a fantasy, an escape from the dejected state of mind that plagued Amy's life.
You know, the people want to say this was sort of this thing she was looking forward to break free. It was 3 years. 3 years, and they have 3 years to meet, and they meet one time for 2 hours. She was not talking to her family. She was isolated. She didn't have a job. She was socially anxious, and that is not to beat up Amy Allen. It is to tell you that she was living sort of a double parallel life, and we believe the fuse was lit, and we had, unfortunately, isolation, drinking, odd behavior, the guilt of a very graphic and long-term affair unbeknownst to Jimmy and his daughter, that ultimately led to her very sad and tragic death on Friday, September 14th of 2018.
Both sides rested their case. Jimmy's fate was now in the hands of the jury. After about 6 hours of deliberations, they had their verdict.
You do say upon your oaths that you find the defendant guilty of the lesser offense of second-degree murder.
After this verdict, Jimmy didn't seem to know what to do with himself. He wandered aimlessly for a bit, and when it was time to be booked into the jail, he bashfully waved goodbye to his family. On October 21st, 2021, Jimmy was sentenced to 20 to 45 years in prison in the Michigan Department of Corrections. He currently resides at the St. Louis Correctional Facility and will be eligible for parole in the year 2040.
Damn! That's tough, buddy. That's tough, bro. I can't lie. That's tough, bro. That's real tough. I can't lie, bro. That's just tough, man. GG. G fucking G. You got cooked. You got cooked. Ooh, you got cooked. Ooh. My bad. I'm still trying to figure out how to use my Stream Deck. I don't think I'm doing it this way. Alright, that was low-key a W vid. I can't lie. It was a little bit entertaining. So, if anyone's in here, say the word hi real quick. Because I need an idea. Because we watched Smart Schoolboy and Ike. That Smart Schoolboy dude that was trending like last year, like a couple months ago. Or I think of something else. Because I look and want to watch Smart Schoolboy. I can't lie. It's up to y'all. If you guys want to talk. It's really up to y'all. I need an answer. Oh, why am I reading like this? Fuck it. Found it. Found it. That's right.
I'm a school boy.
Actually, do we do a recap first or not? I need a recap of this nigga, so.
Expose post he made on Truthsticks 11. He mentions how.
Yeah, thank you. Just go recap on this now. Do a recap on bro. I ain't gonna do shit fast.
Creepy accounts pretending to be kids. I came across a reel randomly, and it's led me down this weird rabbit hole of people using AI or dressing up pretending to go to school. They all seem to have high heels, check images in them. Is this an age play thing or something more sinister? Literally anything helps as I keep trying to look for answers. This post was made to the subreddit r/Instagram by the user numerouscut792 on April 15th, 2024. It featured screenshots of 3 bizarre-looking Instagram pages they had encountered earlier that day, with OP expressing concern that something truly disturbing was happening with these users. And those in the thread agreed. What the actual fuck? Found all of them and blocked them all. Truthsticks11 is seriously creepy to me. I've been trying to find more about them but can hardly find anything. Very weird account to say the least. The 3 accounts apparently belong to 3 different children. However, when combing through their posts, the content seems to imply something much more bizarre was afoot. Something truly disturbing. This post would be the start of a story that would eventually be picked up and shared all across the online world, becoming one of the more notorious internet mysteries in recent memory, as these accounts revealed an unending rabbit hole that is still being traversed to this very day, in an ongoing investigation into one of the most depraved oddities ever found on Instagram. This is the emerging story of Smart Schoolboy 9.
Oh, what the fuck?
I hope you like these photos. School is good.
Creepy ass nigga.
We'll return after these messages.
Before we get too far down this rabbit hole, I want to first thank today's sponsor, AG1.
Bro, I'm not watching your... Ooh. I'm not watching your ad, though. I'm sorry, twin. I can't. To the next part.
Beautiful boy, an account looked after by me, a degree-educated mother choosing to stay anonymous. This was the bio of the first account pictured in the Reddit post, an account named Truthsticks11, which was said to be operated by a 12-year-old boy and his mother. Back in October of 2021, the duo would make their very first post, kicking things off on a somewhat concerning note, though not for their own page, but instead another account on the platform.
So, that's the account run by a man pretending to be a boy.
The video was created and posted by the mother for the sole purpose of warning others of a specific user who had been posing as a child online when, in actuality, he was a grown man who did this in order to get close to and exploit other children across the platform. It's the grim reality of this online world, as predators will do just about anything to get closer to children, and it's a reality often unrealized or even ignored by parents, which makes it almost refreshing that this mother was out here trying to raise awareness. These posts would become the crux of the account early on. They would call out this user and their many accounts again and again, eventually going more in depth about what this person would actually do, claiming that they had a strange perversion to dressing up as a young schoolboy. Does he wish he were a young boy in a school classroom, looking nice and being successful at school? Yes.
Huh?
This theme of calling out online predators would remain consistent throughout the years on Truthsticks11. However, after some time, the mother behind the account began to use the page for its initially intended purpose, to share photos of her son. The photos began reasonably normal, and would show this young boy studying at school, accepting awards from their principal, and even school presentations in which their son had attended, with the captions often boasting about how intelligent the young boy was. Though over time, the photos began to grow stranger. They looked off, almost as if they were AI generated. And on top of this, they began to appear heavily edited in an almost inexplicable manner, with deep red lipstick often being added, which was enunciated by his face being turned pure white. This unsettling trend would continue from here, as with each passing post, the photos...
Smart Schoolboy 9, and Internet Rabbit Hole. So basically, we're just doing a recap, practically, how this nigga even really, like, started, I guess. How do I plug this up with plug-in? Chat, how do I keep the stream board thingy down, like, charged too or nah? I don't even need this shit charged. I feel like, yeah, I can just low-key.
Grew less authentic and more surreal.
Give me a sec. I need to charge my phone.
Until they became straight up disturbed, even sickening. These bizarre edits spilled over past just the images too, as the posts began to appear as disjointed collages, often showcasing multiple grotesque images and paragraphs about how much this user loved school. And this wasn't the only shift either. At some point, the son behind the account began posting content that allegedly came directly from him, saying things like, "My really cool mom asked me if I'd like to post, and I said, yes please."
Ew!
He even shared supposed videos that he had filmed of
Ugly
himself,
ass nigga.
which were equally as unconvincing as his photos, and somehow even more chilling.
I really hope my phone's able to laugh. I regret doing this. Ew, get this shit off my fucking screen.
The boy even shows off his singing in one of the clips.
Ew. You got like horrible singing voice.
Though their voice sounds...
Mind you, this nigga like an old ass man, bro. Grown ass nigga.
The account was overall anomalous and extremely off-putting. And though this content was visually alarming, another aspect made it even more so concerning, as over time, many of the images began to resemble CP, showcasing these fake...
Nigga, huh?! Did I hear that right?
The account was overall anomalous.
Chill,
and
bro. It's not my...
off-putting. And though
That's
this
not
content
twin.
was visually alarming, another aspect made it even more so concerning, as over time, many of the images began to resemble CP, showcasing...
Sick fuck. Yo. Police, pack that nigga up!
These fake AI children in explicit positions, with their faces sometimes even being photoshopped onto scantily dressed adult
Oh my
bodies.
god, he actually like CP.
One thing is blatantly obvious about the Truthsticks account. The supposed child behind it is not real. Even in the more passable
My nigga
photos at the
fucks
very
with kids.
beginning, there's
GG.
evidence to suggest that these were likely AI as well. And based on the disturbed, borderline illegal content that this page featured, it seemed more than likely that whoever was behind this page was not an innocent mother concerned for the welfare of other children, but instead, a predatory individual themselves. And this wasn't their only account. The second page featured on the Reddit post belonged to a user named GirlChloe12 and bore striking similarities to Truthsticks. The page was also supposedly run by a child and monitored by their parent. Bizarrely, they also posted frequently about the dangers of online predators, with the wording of these posts and the editing being essentially the exact same as Truthsticks, just not as over the top. These two accounts even frequently interacted with each other, thus providing a substantial link on its own, but by far the most compelling link between these pages is one that is easy to miss at a glance, with that being a blatant obsession with high-heeled mini boots.
What, nigga?
These shoes were mentioned or shown in virtually every single post made by these two users. At playtime, I'm sometimes running around with my really cool heeled footwear I wear with my uniform. After coming home from school, education isn't over for the day once the blue blazer, gray jersey, neat tie, white shirt, tailored close-fit gray trousers, and black heeled mini boots are in the wardrobe.
This nigga is sick fuck.
No matter what they discussed, school uniforms and mini boots were always a talking point, which adds confirmation to
Hey
something
yo,
that
guys,
is
can we put an L in the chat for this nigga? For this lame ass dude? My bad.
already becoming apparent. This is fetish content, not too unlike the bizarre accounts in the Pipergate rabbit hole.
What
Fetish
the
content
hell is
centered
that?
around children.
Yo,
what makes
chat,
the
should we
Chloe
watch
account so
Pipergate?
disturbing is that AI was seemingly not used, and rather the images seem to be of actual children.
Oh, I gotta sub to
Despite this
dude.
disturbing
This-
distinction, these two
He
accounts
might
are
be
cut
one of
from
the
same
ones we have to
cloth,
watch
and all
every,
signs
like,
point to them being created by the same
almost every, like,
person.
once
A
in a
person
while.
who, despite their constant warnings of
For
the
content,
dangers of
yeah.
adults pretending to be children online, seems to be doing the exact same thing, as part of some sort of fetish, the extent of which we'll discuss later. But for now,
Looks like we
one
had
thing
7
was for
views.
certain, these pages were
If
not
you
run
new
by
here,
children
watch the Snark
or their
Schoolboy
parents.
Online. Also, you drop a
So,
follow.
who
I'm trying to
created
get to
them?
100.
Well, that brings us
Please,
to our
I beg of
third
you.
and final account shown in that initial post. Smart Schoolboy 9 was much the same as the other two accounts. They warned of online predators, obsessed over high-heeled mini boots and school uniforms, and posed as a child despite clearly not being one. But Smart Schoolboy was different in one key aspect. The person behind the account was pretending to be a child, but they were doing so in a much more apparent manner. as they didn't use AI or stolen images of other kids to form their identity.
Yeah, this
And
video's
instead,
starting to scare
they
me,
used
I'm not gonna
photos
lie.
of
I think I need
himself.
flashing lights. Ew! 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 Nigga!
And the images
Nigga! Yo! You're gonna tell me this shit don't look wrong? Deadass! Look at this shit! Look at this, bro! Look at bro! Come on! Come on, get this nigga arrested.
Posted on
Look
the
how it
account,
looks
we see
alone.
what appears to be a
Chopped
fully
ass
grown man
nigga.
dressed in a schoolboy's uniform. His face is painted pure white and has bright red lipstick, and he's, of course, wearing high-heeled mini boots. Characteristics
be
that were all
serious.
utilized across the other accounts, only this time it was done on himself, as he poses as a child, pretending to go to
Average
school, as well as
looks.
pretending to go through
This
other
nigga
life
ain't even
events common
average.
for
Look at his
preteens.
ugly ass
And the
nigga.
photos aren't even the most disturbing part, as the account consists primarily of videos.
What?
Oh. School up. Hey, let me know if you like school as well.
Ew, why does he talk
The
like
videos
that?
are all incredibly off-putting.
Ew.
Some show him arriving home from school.
Bro, niggas talk like this. Should I start doing this the whole stream?
Others show him claiming to be on the bus heading towards school.
Yeah. Okay.
Nigga do not look like Marlon.
Yes,
Don't you ever
on the
disrespect the
school
king
bus.
of looks
In
maxing
other
ever
videos
again.
showing him doing whatever this is.
My phone's at 31%. I'm cooked. Ew.
With these strange sounds and the process of sticking his tongue out appearing to be part of his fetish.
Hold on, let me mute video to do this. It's
As
not
much
loud
like
enough.
the other accounts, his content is overtly sexual, in its own bizarre way.
Yo, guys, would y'all goon to this shit? Would you goon to this? I'm being dead ass. Would y'all goon?
In fact, there's a video of him with his full
Pull up
outfit
if you
on,
go to
where
this.
he shows himself staring into a mirror as he
Type
appears
1 if you a
to
goon, type 2 if
pleasure
you want it.
himself, right out of view of the camera, as he stares into his own eyes.
Nigga.
This account is by far the most sickening
Y'all
part
sicken
of this
me.
whole rabbit hole, and also the most important.
Nigga.
Interspersed throughout his page are a few examples of what this individual's voice sounds like,
This is quite good.
which just so
Yo.
happens to be the same voice heard in the very first clip shown on the Truth Sticks
Dude,
account.
so charged.
Man, pretending to be a boy.
Meaning that this full-grown adult man is the one behind this entire rabbit hole. He's the one on these accounts pretending to be a
Thank you for it.
child and their mother, getting some sort of sick satisfaction from whatever this is.
Bro,
and the
can
worst
you
part
stop
is,
showing
these
who you
activities
so-
aren't just kept behind
This
closed
nigga's
doors.
creeping me out,
As we can
bro.
see on numerous occasions, videos of
I hope you guys get nightmares like I am. This nigga's actually scaring the shit out of me.
him walking around outside in a public space, with his full outfit and face paint on.
Look at me.
It's truly one of the strangest things that I've ever seen, and making sense of what this all is
True that.
extremely difficult. But based on the information found from this first Reddit post, a few likely conclusions can be put forward. This man is clearly attracted to the idea of being a kid. And I
No,
think
he
OP
just
was
likes
correct
kids.
when they
It's
speculated that this was some sort of age play thing. But it's also clearly much more than that too. As based on the images that he's created himself, he clearly has some sort of attraction to other children as well, as he's quite literally created faux CP. The likes of
Bro,
which is so
get that fucking yam off your face, big ass nose ass nigga.
disturbing that I can't even really describe it here either. He's creating fetish content, and he's using the likeness of children, and also some children that are clearly
Nigga got
very
the
real
Yuki
people,
nose.
to do so. That much is
Nigga got that
obvious.
Usopp
But there was
ass
also the
nose.
possibility that he was pretending to be a kid in order
Squidward
to
looking
exploit
ass
other
nose.
children across the internet. At this point, though, this was merely speculation, with much of the Smart Schoolboy 9 case remaining a mystery.
So they
And
can
the
kinda
rabbit
look like
hole was only
EDP.
getting deeper from here.
Ironic because they both like fucking kids.
Months after this rabbit hole was introduced to the online world,
This
the
is
story
scaring
began
me,
to
bro.
be shared
Please
all
tell me when
across
this
the
shit gets off
internet,
my shit,
most
bro.
notably
Get-
on the
tell me when it gets
r/internet
off my
mystery
stream.
subreddit, where the case really
Thank
took
God.
off. There, internet sleuths began uncovering just how vast this web of accounts actually was, as it wasn't just these 3 pages. No, there seemed to be over a dozen, and likely even more that we still haven't found, as he's created his own sort of community, his own little world, where across each page he pretends to be a child, with these accounts typically following each other and frequently interacting, seemingly to make these characters appear as though they have real friends. On one of these pages, 12 Stockwell Joanne, he poses as a 14-year-old girl, using more AI images to depict explicit positions.
You're going to tell me that, like, looks like a 14-year-old girl in general? Imagine that sound effect. As soon as I get my soundboard working, we be up. I can't lie. But, let me stop pausing. This is supposed to be a recap. I'm about to make this shit long as fuck.
Which I obviously am not going to show here. Though much like his Chloe account, he also shows images of very real young girls.
Shoot for a good hour
but this
somehow.
Isn't the most concerning part of this account.
I have no idea.
As on numerous occasions, he's shown images of children at a playground, which he may have taken himself.
Yeah, this nigga like kids.
This fantasy of being a schoolgirl and taking part in these school-centric activities is something carried over throughout multiple of his accounts, with his most common alias being Stephanie, of which he has numerous different accounts.
He just like you, chat. He just like you.
Yeah, I'm Stephanie.
This Stephanie character claims to be a 12-year-old aspiring poet, with accounts all across the internet, many of which showcasing examples of her poetry, which carries on those same distinct sexual undertones. I race to complete my poems when I've got an early start. Heart racing, mixed rhythms, maximizing miracles, rice with rap, and on the map. My Kennington, London syllables. Dancing though I know my underwear might show if I lean forward. Good. Stephanie Stansfield, 12. But digging even deeper, her poetry has even seemingly been featured in various articles and even newspapers, showcasing that this rabbit hole extends far past just the online world. This act is clearly their obsession, and he's been doing this for years, with the earliest examples that I could find coming from all the way back in 2018. And this Stephanie character, even
bro, not a
literal
tough poem.
sense.
What are we talking about, bro? Ew. I'm not even gonna say nothing. I was about to dead ass I was about to say something so bad I might get my ass banned. I'll say it. I can't lie. Let's get through it, bro. Stop showing these images so fucking slow, bro. Come on, I beg of you.
He dresses as
oh my god,
wearing a wig and a dress, as he pretends to be a 12-year-old girl.
No, nigga, I wouldn't crack. What the fuck?
Almost immediately after this case began gaining traction, the true magnitude of this rabbit hole was revealed. Across every single account are countless depraved posts and oddities that all could warrant discussion. But by far the most important discoveries were those that didn't actually occur on his own page, and rather the pages of other actual children. Do you like school? I do. It is good. You have some cool shirts, but I have to wear school uniforms to school. It is nice, but casual isn't allowed, and it's quite hot here in the UK, as the month of June suddenly got warmer.
Some game at you
These
like
are
this?
two examples out of many that show Smart Schoolboy 9 reaching out and attempting to befriend young children online. In one comment, he even warns a child about other comments from bad people, stating that, "It happens to most boys in our age group, but stay safe, stay cool, don't be dismayed by creeps." This is our best evidence that these accounts weren't just made for age play. No, he's actually posing as a child in order to make friends with other children. And given his overtly sexual interests and aversion to CP, it's not hard to gather why he was doing this. And these examples are only what we found so far. It's possible that there are dozens, or who knows, maybe even hundreds of other comments out there, hidden on unknown children's accounts.
No, he wants kids
this
so bad.
Is predatory behavior. The man behind Schoolboy 9 is a predator. And in case there was still any doubt of whether or not this was a sexual thing, here's what he had to say about being a 13-year-old girl. But have his tactics actually worked?
What do you have to say?
Well,
I can't sit in holy shit. I can't sit in class. Thighs. What? I'm not saying that word. This might give me TOS ban. High heel squeaking, school uniform so girly. Being 13 is...
But have his tactics actually worked? Well, the frightening thing is, no one knows if he's actually been successful or not,
dude,
or even what specifically
this
he's
dude.
looking for. We just know that he's trying to reach kids, as evidenced not only by his comments, but by the fact that he's
He just
solely
like y'all.
following children on all of these pages. And though it's easy to look at these accounts and know that something is off, for children, it's not that simple,
Nigga said
especially
relatable.
when there's pages showcasing photos of actual kids. Which brings up another frightening detail. Many of the images he's used of children have not been traced back to their original creator, and some seem to appear for the very first time online publicly on this man's pages, which might mean that he was sent them privately. There's even one image that David posted on his schoolboy account, which shows another kid that he claimed to be on a playdate with, though it's impossible to say if this is real or not. For now, we just don't know for sure. Though given the fact that he's reaching out to children, posting fetish content centered around children, and has even potentially photographed kids in the wild, one thing is for certain: Smart Schoolboy 9 needs to be stopped.
True that. Unmasked, bro.
Finding this man and reporting him to law enforcement quickly became the top priority for those investigating the case. And luckily, he left several glaring clues behind that made this process a whole lot easier. On numerous occasions across his many pages, he would post images and videos of specific locations, even showing streets and mentioning very particular areas in his poems, all of which centered around the London area, immediately giving us an
London.
idea of where he was located.
London is my
And
city.
that wasn't all. I mentioned how the alias of Stephanie was one that he used more so than any other, but what's interesting is that there was another name used just as often across his accounts, brought up time and time again, though it's a name that he never seemed to call any of his characters. Instead, he simply referred to this person as a stepbrother, or a father, or even a friend from school, despite never actually picturing him, just mentioning his name, David. And sure enough, after connecting a few dots, it would be revealed that this person's actual name
I have a
was in
friend named
fact
David.
David Alter, with the man being 59 years old. At the moment, it doesn't appear that David has any past criminal convictions or documented history of this behavior, but we do know that thanks to the investigation done on Reddit and Discord, he is currently being investigated by local authorities, which will hopefully put an end to his online behavior and shine some more light on who this person actually is. As for the time being, the only other information that we really know about David is that he likes to write poetry and he makes music.
Makes music. Plays music right now.
I think I hear a running train.
This shit is ass.
Going back in time, not out of time. I think I like a little lemon and lime.
Wait.
And
Go
he
back.
makes
This shit
music.
is. He might be.
The ceiling there. I think I hear a running train. Going back in time, not out of time. I think I like a lemon and lime. Say Marianne, hey Steely Dan. I like the sound of that running train.
Bro,
And
this is
his
what I
name
get for
also
dances with a
appears in an event in the
pedophile.
newspaper, where he's discussing the importance of kids wearing school uniforms. And that's really all we have at the moment. Though there is one very important aspect that we have yet to talk about in relation to this man, with that being David's mental state. Some believe that David is a mentally unwell individual who potentially doesn't know the extent of what they are doing. Now, even if this is the case, his
This
behavior
nigga,
still needs to...
bro, even if bro mentally ill, that nigga know what he doing. This nigga keeps on doing it and doing it. Who thought about this theory? This nigga keeps on doing the same shit. He knows what he's doing, bro. Let's be serious.
to be stopped, and he needs to be given proper help to assure that no one else gets hurt by
Fuck
his
help.
actions.
Put this nigga
but it is
down.
important to
Give him
note that
DP.
David is far more intelligent than he lets
bro
on,
DP.
as his
I can't
personal
lie.
accounts show us that he is fairly well spoken
bro
and
DP.
articulate. And throughout his problematic
Type 1 if you
content,
want that
most
nigga-
of his bad grammar
Type
and
1 to get
strange
that nigga
verbiage
DP.
seems to be his attempts at more authentically trying to replicate a child. But it's impossible to know for sure. But what we do know is that David is extremely manipulative, with his response to the situation and other clues littered across his accounts showing us that he seems to know what he's doing, and he knows that it's wrong. Since the exposure of David's accounts, he hasn't silently slithered away like most other predators would. Instead, he's actually responded on more than a few occasions, lashing out to those who have DM'd him, calling them the perverts and predators.
Nigga,
He even
what?
left a comment on his Joanne account seemingly
Bro,
directed at himself, writing, "You are really sad. And if that's your name, David, be honest with yourself. You're 50, as you said elsewhere. You reply to me, a girl, as if I'm your buddy? No chance ever. This is something David does all the time. It's projection, and it started all the way back at the beginning of this rabbit hole.
So, that's the account run by a man pretending to be a boy.
And he continued posting these predator exposés, along with other warnings about predators on the internet across every page he made, each of which being hyper-specific to his own predatory ways and fetishes. The things he accuses others of are blatant projections of his own dark vices. And I can think of 2 reasons why. Number 1, that this makes his account look safer to other parents and children. It gives the appearance that he's not another internet creep, because he's actively calling them out. It's a way to build trust in order to befriend and exploit kids. And number 2, he knows what he's doing is wrong, and this is his bizarre way of self-reporting, probably to make himself feel better about what he's doing. And it's obvious based on just how accurate these claims against others are to him. Does he wish he were a young boy in a school classroom, looking nice and being successful at school? Yes. And these claims are made over and over again, as each time he calls someone out, he's further exposing himself, which becomes more concerning when you realize that these projections seemingly aren't strictly pedophilic.
No. We know what type of
Within those eerily familiar expose posts he made on Truthsticks11, he mentions how this user not only wanted to exploit children online, but they wanted to kill them as well.
Huh?
As he mentions that this user has a clear interest in cannibalizing kids, and even performing ritualistic sacrifices on them. And based on how accurate all of the other exposures are to himself, I have no reason to believe that this isn't.
I like to apologize, chat. I said, he's just like y'all. He's nothing like our community, nigga. I can't lie. He's not like us.
Part of his MO as well.
I like
as
to
crazy
apologize.
as that may sound. This also seems to coincide with some of the content he's posted that I
He
can't
might be
show
worse
you,
than,
as some of these
the
photos
mustache
show
man.
children edited in contorted positions, including some where he's added what appears to be rope to give the illusion that they're tied up. And what makes this even more disturbing is that on his accounts, he's posted numerous photos in the vicinity of schools, on nearby secluded trails, and even some where he discusses what time school starts and ends, saying that he likes to be awake and ready for it. There's even photos that show other children outside from a distance, almost as if David was stalking them. This is highly concerning. Even if we don't know truly how low this man's perversions get, he is still far too close to children, which is perfectly encapsulated by this photo of him on a school playground during the day. And with his disturbing desires, I don't even want to imagine what he's capable of. Which brings us to the final piece of content that I need to talk about. Chasing another boy running in heeled mini boots. This was the text shown on screen during a short video posted onto one of David's many accounts. And in the video, we see the man pointing the camera at himself, showing his full face of white makeup and red lipstick. This video is edited more egregiously than any others I've seen across his page, with multiple explicit images and huge emojis covering the majority of the screen. Though just barely enough of the footage can be seen that shows David as he turns the camera around, revealing.
You do not strive to be like him. We are not like that. All of us as a community, all 15 of us, we're not like that.
Who he then proceeds.
We don't claim this type of behavior. Come on, nigga. See up. Yo? I accidentally muted.
Or a real occurrence we don't currently know. David's doings are a mystery that will take some time to unravel, and my hope is that law enforcement will be able to follow through and help shed some more light on this individual.
They're not
and
catching
finally
them,
put an end
honestly.
to his twisted behavior.
Yeah.
But at this point,
Can't be
only
caught.
one thing is for sure. The story of Smart Schoolboy 9 is far from over.
No shit. Don't strive to be like him. That was more of a recap video. I just wasted 27 minutes and probably more time on this video than the actual video that we were supposed to watch. Someone should have told me to keep time. I'm not gonna lie. Because I just wanted to get into this one.
I'm a schoolboy, but not smart schoolboy 9.
Last year, the internet caught wind of an online known as Smart Schoolboy 9. It was one of the most disturbing cases I'd ever seen. YouTubers Nexpo and Nick Crowley brought the case to the surface, with new information coming to light. And then, nothing. A year went by, and everyone just seemed to move on. And it got me thinking, where is David? Was he arrested? Was he even investigated? Even Reddit forums began to give up on the case. But don't be fooled. This man is still very much lurking in the online shadows. And today, we're diving deep. If you don't know who Smart Schoolboy 9 or David Alter is, I'm not going to explain it in...
This def gotta be one of y'all. It gotta be one of y'all. It gotta be one of y'all. I know it, bro.
Depth, but in short, David pretends to be children on social media accounts and in real life too. His main aliases are Miles, Smart Schoolboy 9, and Stephanie Schooley. People dug up his grotesque Photoshop jobs and even found on these accounts, as well as engaging with children online.
Hello, I'm Lloyd. I'm 11. I hope you're as happy as I am at school. It's quite lovely. I trust that is so with you.
What's bizarre is he had an account called TruthSticks11 where he seemed to be warning parents about himself. David has been doing this since the 90s in Doncaster. He was given the nickname of Grey Man by locals. Locals have since made posts in Doncaster Facebook groups and shared testimonies. There's even 3 separate cases of people claiming to have been stalked by David as a child. Wow, I've not seen or heard about him since I was a teen. He used to follow me all the time. David Walter Alter. He stalked me, found photos of me in my flat when I was a child, and ended up in court. Let him off for mental health. The man's a wrong'un. Man used to follow me when school was over and I was walking around the area. Got tired of the shit, so confronted him. David can actually be seen replying to these comments, calling them nothing but fiction. Utterly fictitious. From desperate people needing attention. There's something real sinister about him. There's something sinister about your face, old rogue, not the innocent schoolboy in his uniform. Very early on, I was struggling to find new information. There was a lot of fake stuff out there. I did find a Facebook group, but it was just full of people filling it with shite and included members having a crush on David. But that's when I came across an account on TikTok called Unscrupulous Person, who's been closely following the case for over a year now. So I decided to reach out. We hopped in a Discord call and she shared some less known media with me from David. Joanne Tang was another one of David's aliases. He pretended to be a 12-year-old schoolgirl and detailed what they wore to school and heavily recalled the 80s being an inspiration for her leather boots.
Yeah, hi. I'm Joanne Tang.
Bro, change his voice and all.
I hope you enjoy these pictures.
It turns out that the photos he stole, doctored, and created were those of a real child. In December of 2024, a woman called Camille took to TikTok to share her story after she stumbled across the case and made the disturbing realization that her pictures have been stolen. This wasn't the first time he did this. His transfer students post...
Wait, no. I don't mean type shit like I would do the same thing. I mean like... I just don't mean in that way, guys. I'm not like Smart School. I'm not like this nigga. I promise.
He traced back to 2 K-pop singers. On the left, we have Sungnoon in a picture he posted to Instagram in 2021 when he was 18, and Lee Seo in her school uniform again back in 2023 when she would have been either 15 or 16. Camille claims she was reporting this to the police, but since then, there haven't been any further updates. But there have been sightings of David. A Reddit post was made by Pathogen, claiming that their friend had spotted David in a London hospital. At first, they didn't believe her, until she sent a voice note. In the background, you can hear a man speaking which does sound like David. And if you compare it to clips where David uses his real voice...
Waterloo Sunset, it was one of the records that I bought in...
Niggas sound like a poet.
Back in 2018, David sent a handmade card to a youth centre pretending to be Stephanie. Look at this lovely handwritten card we received in the post from Stephanie. an 11-year-old girl living in Doncaster. It's great to hear Salmon's work is resonating with young people everywhere, not just in Burnside. The same card that David had printed over the years can be seen posted on his Stephanie Schooley accounts back in 2020. David's Facebook account, David London, is one of the only platforms he posts publicly, as well as a handful of TikTok accounts too. One of David's old Facebook posts talks about a 16-year-old girl he claims he knew back in 2004, an acquaintance when he would have been in his late 30s, potentially 40s at the time.
Are we dead ass? This nigga dead ass worse than EDP. He is 69 God.
Details a time where she told him about a man who tried to look up her during a school project, but the way he writes about it feels off. He fixates on her black patent shoes, the straps, the squeak they made, even how her socks sat just below her knees. The post reads less like a memory, more as a dark he's trying to disguise.
No,
and this wasn't the only post like this he made. In another, he starts off talking about celebrity clones, that Taylor Swift and Adele have been replaced, then randomly brings up the 16-year-old girl again. It's the same pattern again, him weaving himself into stories about teenage girls and trying to pass it off like a harmless post. In another post, he contradicts himself and recalls the 16-year-old girl in 2001. So, which is it, David? Is it 2001 or 2004? At this point, I started to really go down the rabbit hole. I was looking through the archives of David's old accounts and started to look up Instagram handles of people who had liked his content. And that's when I came across this weird looking account. I checked out the following list and was met with something pretty horrific. Loads of accounts with abstract blue shapes, triangles, repeating patterns. And I think you could guess what this might be a symbol for. The main account seems to be this one. It started with random pictures, then it moved to very light blue pictures, some with readable faint text. The most recent posts are very similar to other strange accounts. Reddit did some digging, and it seems the main theory going around is the same as mine, and that this is some sort of blue signal. This isn't directly linked to Smart Schoolboy 9, but I just had to mention it. This account follows some of the strangest Instagram profiles I have ever seen in my life, and the fact that this account was following David at one point isn't surprising at all.
Ew.
Hello? I don't know. I really don't know. It's
bro, this is one of you niggas talking to your Discord. I'm not kidding.
She says Christina Parker. It could, you know the non-stat kept texting you. Ask Jeff. Where's he gone?
Here, David brings up somebody called Jeff, and this isn't the first time he's brought him up. Credit again to Big Ross for uncovering these screenshots from the Stephanie Schooley account. In them, David defends a man called Jeff Morrell in a long-winded comment about a relative who attended the Stockwell School, who described everything as harmless play wrestling and claims that people who have came forward years later may have just misremembered or misunderstood what had actually happened. In reality, Jeff Morrell was already on record in 1984. He was convicted of an essay offence and placed on a teacher's register. The article states he'd often keep two pupils back for detention and that's where things happen behind closed doors. Back in 2019, David actually made another post referencing Jeff again, this time through an account called Zia Patel, which can actually be traced back to a real teacher who taught at Stockwell Manor School. In this post, they recall that their half-brother David was often publicly embarrassed and singled out by Jeff in class, and that he had never truly recovered from the experience. If those theories are true, it might give us some insight into why David so heavily fixates on school and the uniforms. But let's be very clear here. This does not excuse David's behavior over the years, and he still needs to be held accountable. To quickly add onto the Joanne Tang situation, I popped the phrase Joanne Tang into Google and was met with titles using Joanne Tang's name in disturbing fake video titles, claiming to be uploaded by Smart Schoolboy 9. I'm not sure if David was the person who uploaded these, and there is a chance a troll might have done this instead. However, what I will say is Joanne Tang was one of David's lesser known accounts, so it's definitely disturbing. I know a lot of this has been pretty vile and disgusting, so to lighten the mood a little bit, Unscrupulous Person came across these acting and radio comedy sketches, which are just bizarre.
Oh, boss, skip, boss, or TV, listen.
This might be worse.
Over here, Britain's #1 is there.
Not much to add on this, just too much free time on his hands.
Gang.
The Facebook group I mentioned earlier has a member called Veronica. Veronica has been in contact with David for some time and has actually been posting new content to a YouTube channel on David's behalf. Smart Schoolgirl 9 is David's latest active YouTube channel. He had one before that was wiped, but this one has surfaced very recently. The channel started with videos uploaded in Russian titles for some reason, but it includes content posted this year from January to as recent as November 2025.
Hi there, how are you? It is summer in the year 2025.
Tomorrow, I'm gonna try to run up the Discord and try to make one, so you guys can join a Discord with me and just join the community completely.
I'm the official Smart Schoolboy 9. I'm a proper child, a schoolboy.
Bro was not
I'm
a child.
9 years of age. Despite what you might have heard from perverts and those and people making fun of.
Most of these clips follow the same script of mentioning the year and month or season.
It's late summer in year 2025.
And living the life of a schoolboy.
The corridor in this clip is miniature. It's not a full-sized corridor or hallway.
I feel it, bro.
It's part of a school building project where children learn about structures and different sizes of property.
He's going kids
so
into his home and
it
saying
makes
it's
me
another
look a
class.
bit taller than I am. And I'm not very tall, so I thought I'd explain that.
Okay, sure buddy. But what's interesting is his latest video uploaded, which isn't a short, called This, which translates to November 1st, 2025. In this 4.5 minute of David rambling, he calls out Irvson who have been making fake documentary videos about him. He then goes on to explain that so-called experts have been experimenting in Birmingham.
And yet, almost 500 people said that they had seen that person in either of the Birminghams.
This is the first time I've ever heard of this, and honestly it just sounds like he's made this up on the spot.
And then the scammers gave a false name and age for the lyric writer, saying that he's 59, and then saying that I'm somehow 59. It's quite sick.
On November 4th of 2025, he made a post to his Facebook account and uploaded a video of Princess Charlotte, a child of the royal family in London, describing her as a unique creation. I'm gonna let Unscrupulous Person explain the sock puppet accounts and her experiences of personally dealing with David.
David has been interacting with the account, I would say, for about 5-6 months. The bigger it got, the more he interacted. Get around 10-20 comments from him a day. The two accounts that he portrays on TikTok, one of them is a Jamaican child, I believe, from the language that he chooses to use. Vicky Soul, the profile picture is Peas, which I can link to Peas, another one of his accounts. And then we've got another young schoolgirl on the No Pervs Allowed account who he's acting as, just like his main alias, Stephanie. People ask me all the time, why after a year am I still chasing the case? And the short answer to that is, so people are aware. I just want children online to stay safe. I want families to know what's going on. People have made David a walking, talking joke, but from my point of view, if this was my kid, my sister, my brother, my niece, who's being targeted by David, you know, David was editing photos of them, I would be absolutely horrified, fucking horrified. This man is literally taking pictures from school websites, TikTok, Instagram, editing them, and then posting them around like social media. You've got pictures of edited kids that are half kid, and it's like he's
Ain't this
handing
nigga
them
not
around
15,
like,
like 59? Chat, am I tweaking? Isn't this nigga not like 59? Or some shit. I swear they said his age. He's like 50 or 59. Y'all niggas want to be unactive, bro. I understand it.
a fucking dog. Like,
Y'all only chat
it's
when
cheese
it's-
pizza, it's not.
when it's
Another thing
convenient.
that I want to talk about is Lindsay Lane on Facebook. Lindsay Lane is one of his main aliases, might I say, who he poses as on Facebook.
Disgusting.
I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't really check up on the Facebook group, it's full of shit, but I have seen a few comments and posts that Lindsay Lane has made. I'm just going to finish off by saying that any other person who would be caught doing this would vanish off the face of the earth. They would not stay on social media, but this is what people need to understand. When people say to him, you're a pedophile, he enjoys that probably. That's what I think anyway. But thank you
Yeah,
for the
this nigga
support and
goons when you
thank
call him a
you,
pedophile.
Lyle, for letting me be in this documentary.
Or PDF file.
David
I don't know
continues
if
to
I'll get
lurk
banned if I
online
said that full
without
word, no?
consequence. We actually came
As long
across
as
an
we're not
account on
TOS.
Instagram, now deleted, called Rhythm Russell Reviewer. I don't think I have a screenshot of his following list, but he was mostly following children. It baffles me that this man is still allowed to have access to the internet, and until serious action is taken, Smart Schoolboy
Why does he even
9
have,
isn't
like,
leaving anytime
internet?
soon.
Bro, there was a W video out of It's Brewster. That was a W vid. I can't lie. So should we watch next? It's up to y'all. It really just up to y'all. What should we watch next? Y'all please type. Please, I beg of you. I have no idea what the hell to do. So what should do? We have 7 people, so you know what? We just gotta find something fast, whatever it is. Do you think I'll get banned if I talk about Epstein? Or the Big Ep? Like you say it that way, the Big Ep, the J-E? You think that's TOS? Is that TOS? Bro, another one? Guys, can we watch this? What the fuck? Like, which one? I'm trying to find something that's not Taj. Oh, never mind. I found something we can watch. This dirty ass Nick.
Is it a coincidence that 3 convicted pedophiles were working at the largest children's television network during the peak of its success and popularity? What if I told you that there was also a convicted pedophile managing the children that were often cast on
just
the
like
network's
you.
shows? What if I told you that many of the underage girls were forced to kiss men over the age of 18 on
Nigga,
camera,
what?
and then what if you found out that multiple of these young victims
that
grew
Drake
up and
Bell?
were caught performing inappropriate sexual acts with children themselves?
No, they got
repeating the
Drake
cycle of
and
abuse?
Jaws.
These are not rumors. These are facts. When you combine these facts with the realization that many of the jokes,
my bad.
physical comedy, outfits, and even random pieces of the set were sexual innuendos, at some point you'd
Bruh.
start to eliminate the possibility of this being a coincidence and start thinking this was all by design. Today I'm going to break down exactly how a powerful network of executives separated child actors from their families, have their actors depend on them for emotional support, then
you
abuse their
blame
power
them?
to overwork these children, rake in billions in profits, silence anyone
Okay, as
who
soon as my
dared to
phone
speak
died, I
out,
think we
and
have
then
to cut
bragged
stream
about it in
short.
front of the
I'm
whole
not gonna lie.
world.
I have
And
to
just
get
like
better,
most
like,
organized crime
seeing the
operations,
chat.
they typically funnel up to one top boss, the untouchable creator of this machine. Insert Dan Schneider, the man
Bruh,
behind the
Mr.
camera,
Schneid,
the esteemed
Schneid!
Nickelodeon producer who created some of the most iconic children's
Can we all say Elf and Mr. Dan Snyder? How the hell do I keep on muting, bro? Jesus Christ. I need to get better at my job.
at the end of the day, I love it when the cast gets sassy with me because
what you love is kids, nigga.
Very talented writers, but I can put them in any horrible predicament I choose.
Dan Schneider was a child actor himself, most notable for his role as Dennis on Head of the Class. During this time, he and his co-star Brian Robbins became great friends. The pair were later asked to co-host the second annual Kids' Choice Awards by a Nickelodeon producer called Albie Hecht. The three men struck a friendship and frequently discussed creating a project together. By 1993, Hecht had become a high-level executive at Nickelodeon and challenged Robbins to pitch him a children's television series that their new production studio could pitch to Nickelodeon. At the time, Nickelodeon was not yet the powerhouse it would become. The network struggled to become profitable in the 80s as they were losing millions of dollars per year. One year, they were actually the lowest viewed network out of all US cable channels. Early 90s cartoons like Doug, Rugrats, and Ren and Stimpy were allowing the network to pick up higher viewership, but their live-action shows struggled. So Brian recruited Dan and they came up with a sketch comedy show like Saturday Night Live, but for children, called All That. Dan wrote in his personal blog, "We did a nationwide talent search and got very lucky. Every kid we ended up hiring for the original All That cast turned out to be fantastic. Josh Server, Kenan Thompson, Kel Mitchell, Katrina Johnson, Lori Beth Denberg, Angelique Bates, and Alyssa Reyes." Dan recalled that the show didn't test well and that the network felt like kids wouldn't like a sketch comedy show, but they took a chance on him and the show immediately became a huge success for Nickelodeon.
This one. Oh my god, I swear you guys can't fucking see my finger on pointing. This one. Niggas on Game Shakers.
Soon as it aired. All That would go on to have 10 seasons and become one of the most culturally significant teen Nickelodeon shows of all time. Imagine how proud the executives were of Dan's performance. They were finally getting the big break they needed, and Nickelodeon was coming closer to becoming a profitable network. The only thing that could ruin their momentum would be some sort of scandal or reports of child abuse. And that's exactly what happened, according to Angelique Bates, who was only 12 years old when the abuse began. But first, a quick word from today's sponsor.
Oh my god.
Fantasy. Survivor who has spoken up against Nickelodeon's corrupt practice because it also opened up
I ultimately hear me and was
your alert. Underdog is clipped up. Promo. Underdog is now available their app store. Deposit, rep your team, and make your own picks with Underdog.
From 1992 to 1996, I was a series regular on Nickelodeon's All That. I was only 12 years old, and that's when my nightmare began. I was physically, mentally, emotionally abused in front of the producers and cast members.
I want to put Drake and Josh on there so bad, but that nigga likes kids, so it is what it is. Victorious, Thundermans, Henny Danger. I'm counting Power Rangers because they technically have Power Rangers on there, and like Big Time Rush. Big Time Rush was my favorite. And I went K-pop show. I used to watch that shit when I was 5. This shit was banger.
And sometimes
I forgot what it was called though.
Yelling, but nothing was done to help me until
actually, what's y'all?
What's your thoughts, 1996 like, when CPS was called.
Actually, no. Give me like you guys like top 10.
When CPS came, I was pressured by all the adults that were set to protect me to stay silent. I did, and I have.
Y'all know if Disney had PDF files hide or no?
My name is.
I think it was only Nickelodeon.
And
I generally think it was only Nick.
Of child abuse, and this is my story.
Angelique is the first known survivor who has spoken up against Nickelodeon's corrupt practices, and her story is extremely important because it also highlights the parents' involvement in such abuse. Angelique recalls Nickelodeon producers being upset that her mom was constantly supervising her.
PDF files on there. I swear there was none on Disney. I don't remember anyone talking about PDF files on Disney. I remember Cartoon Network.
For her was that she was one of the parents that was not going to leave me unattended on set because by law,
there's still a lot of weirdos in Hollywood. I can't lie.
So
I'm looking at you, Pedro Pascal.
That she what it leads me.
Some parents would leave their kids unsupervised while they worked.
Mister,
they trusted the producers and did not want to interfere with their child's opportunity to build a career for themselves. Angelique's mother was not like that, and she even recalled a time where someone made a sexual advance towards her and her mother threatened to sue the network. Unfortunately, Angelique's mother was also physically and emotionally abusive towards her, so she wasn't safe on set or at home.
The double-edged sword with my mom beating my ass, but then she's like protecting me from Nickelodeon all at the same time. Like, she blocked all that. Like I said, the reason why they started hating her was because she was blocking me from that and because she was turning down sexual advances from it.
Angelique slowly received less and less work due to her mother's involvement and believed she was blackballed by Nickelodeon because she and her mother could not be controlled. And because no wrongdoings were ever officially reported, all that ratings continued to soar. The series propelled the careers of cast members Kenan Thompson and Kel Mitchell, who starred in the first All That spin-off, Kenan and Kel. The show originally aired on Nickelodeon for 4 seasons from 1996 to 2001 and was equally as successful as All That, winning the Favorite TV Show award at the 1998 Kids' Choice Awards. They also starred in the Nickelodeon cult classic film, Good Burger. However, with Schneider in charge, not much changed behind the scenes. Taisha Hampton, ex-wife of Kel Mitchell, spoke out on suspicious behavior she experienced on Nickelodeon sets. Taisha was married to Mitchell from 1999 to 2005, but they originally met on the set of Good Burger where she was casted as an extra. She too backs up the claims that parents were not around.
And these parents, like Kel's parents, were not with him. All these parents of the kids on the show, their parents were not with them.
Separate the children from the parents. That seems to be a theme with Nickelodeon. There are 2 main reasons why they likely did this. Firstly, it seems like Nickelodeon was trying to take advantage of loose child labor laws in Florida, where the shows were filmed. According to the 1998 Florida Child Labor Code, minors aged 15 and under could work 40 hours per week as long as it was during a holiday or summer vacation. 16 and 17-year-olds who graduated from high school or had their GED did not have to abide by any work hour restrictions. A school superintendent could also issue a waiver of hours, and there is no law that specifically states a parent must supervise their kid while their child is working. However, regardless of what the code says, child labor experts say the laws were rarely enforced or penalized when there was a violation. In 1992, Jeffrey Newman of the National Child Labor Committee said that child labor today is at a point where violations are greater than at any point during the 1930s.
What the hell do you expect? You get these niggas these dumbass laws, meanwhile you don't need to literally advise your kid. That's why most of these niggas got groomed. Let's be serious. Let's be serious.
Report found that the average business could expect to be inspected once every 50 years or so. Inspectors spend only about 5% of their time looking into child labor problems. Businesses across the entire nation were taking advantage of loose child labor laws in the 90s. Do you think Nickelodeon was any different? Children are more susceptible to exploitation and abuse in the workplace due to their vulnerability and lack of bargaining power. Think of how easy it would be for a TV producer to torment and gaslight a young actor if they weren't getting their lines right or performing to the producer's standards. But if their parents were there on set witnessing their child get scolded, they might cause a fuss. Producers want as little friction as possible, so it's not crazy to think that they probably cast talent with parents who stay out of their way. But once they do get the parents out of the way, what do they do with the kids?
Because we would get into clubs and we were young, like 16, 17 years old, and we'd be in clubs. And the people on the set in Florida made us fake IDs. And so then I started thinking, I was like, wait, what? And then they were talking about orgies, and they were talking about, like, people on the set would show, like,
what if bro did what to me on set?
Those were kids, like young kids on that.
What are you talking about, bro?
These are grown 30-year-old men and women.
Showing this to the kids.
16, 17, 15, 14-year-old kids. But another one of the cast members was like, cleaning Dan Schneider's car with a bikini on. And now at this time she had been 15, 16 years old. There were other times they would have like parties where the parents wouldn't be there and they'd give us alcohol. And another one of the people on the cast was giving blowjobs to the producers.
Wow, one of the kids.
And they were kids.
Tracy Brown, whose son Brian Hearn was cast on All That for season 7 and 8, tells a similar story from a mother's perspective.
Because there are many times on that set where they're like, hey, we want to invite Brian to a party. And I'm like, hey, just Brian? And they go, yes. And I'm like, no. And they don't like moms that take control of their child, but I had heard things. So guess what? You don't need to like me. And they were like, well, bye-bye. And I was like, let's go. I was not going to do anything for the money. Like, y'all need to understand, I'm that woman.
W or L mom?
Anything that might compromise my son, not even.
W or L mom, guys.
But many
W
even
or L
suspect that the producer's perversion may have
There's
been
no one
scripted
Victorious
into the
episode.
shows, starting with Kyra on Kenan and Kel, who was just 12 years old but was always trying to flirt and make sexual advances on the much older Kel. She would refer to him as her boyfriend despite him being obviously uninterested because she is a child. At the same time that Kenan and Kel were huge stars, one
Isn't it
All
not
That
normal?
cast member emerged and became the most iconic Nickelodeon star of all time, Amanda Bynes. At just 10 years old, Amanda stood out amongst her peers and showcased her comedic talents through various characters and sketches. As a preteen, she was maturely confident and comfortable on screen. According to Leon Frierson, who was cast on All That since season 1, Schneider showed clear favoritism for Bynes. We had to go to school on set. There would be
Oh,
times
shit,
when
with
Amanda
the
would
snow
just be
bunny
missing,
woman.
he recalled in the docuseries. A lot of times we would hear she would be with Dan, pitching ideas and writing. We see them grow closer to each other on set. He continued, Amanda Bynes' parents were very hands-on in her career, specifically her dad. His presence was always felt. A big part of that was his relationship with Dan Schneider. Like we said before, hands-on parents were not wanted on Nickelodeon's set. That is, unless they are bending to the interests of Dan Schneider. Despite the favoritism, Dan never planned on giving Amanda her own show because he claims he never wanted to be on children's television.
bad if you
He
got
initially
you on
created and helped produce a series called Guys
I
Like
need a
Us
tune. I need
for the
something
United
to tune.
Paramount Network at their primetime 8 p.m. slot. Guys Like Us revolves around two young men, Sean Barker and Jared Harris. The pair are forced to look after Jared's 6-year-old brother Maestro, who comes to live with them after Jared's father accepts a job opportunity overseas.
Why don't you go wash your hands?
They're clean.
Well, then go wash your feet.
Dan's sitcom designed for adults was an utter failure as he
nigga
was
like
not
Toast.
funny nor creative enough to keep adults entertained. It was cancelled after one season due to abysmal ratings, so he shifted his focus to creating a show around Amanda. The Amanda Show was a sketch comedy television program that had a very similar look, feel, and comedic style as All That and Kenan and Kel. Schneider struck gold again. The Amanda Show became the highest rated live-action television program on Nickelodeon during its run. Amanda portrayed various characters that would become iconic, such as Judge Trudy, Crazy Courtney, and Amanda's obsessive fan, Penelope Taint.
My name is Penelope Taint. I'm Amanda's #1 fan, please.
And it took us 20 years to
It's
realize
corny,
that
bro.
her last name was a sexual innuendo. People also think that her catchphrase, Amanda Please, was built off the phrase, a man to please, which would be such a deep, detailed level of innuendo that it's kind of hard to believe. However, as this video goes on, it just seems more and more possible. People today
It
also
can't
believe
be.
that her sketch called Amanda's
Ain't no
Jacuzzi
way
may
Dan
have been
Schneider got that
inappropriate
shit.
since
Ain't
the whole
mad
concept
fucking
was her
smart.
as a
That nigga ain't
13-year-old interviewing mostly grown men in a hot tub. And of course, another foot joke.
Was it also true that you can put both of your feet inside your mouth at the same time?
I don't know. No.
Even Dan
likes
decided to
toes.
jump in the jacuzzi with Amanda.
Hi, welcome to my jacuzzi. Today my special guest is...
Mind you, she like, I want to say like oldest is like 16 or 17. She's probably younger than that right now. And look at this little nigga Dan Schneider, bro. Look at this fat fuck.
The executive producer of the Amanda Show, Dan Schneider.
Hi.
Now you're the executive producer of the show.
Yes, I'm the executive
They
producer.
won't put
and
L
the headline.
Dan.
People believe Dan was almost bragging by creating lightly sexual conduct into his kids' shows, like the Spitballer 5000, which was a phallic object that the kids had to blow into to launch a giant spitball at someone.
What?
Behind-the-scenes footage indicates that Dan and Amanda were very close, which is why it was shocking that The Amanda Show abruptly ended in 2002, just 3 years after it aired on Nickelodeon. In an interview with The Times, Bynes explained that she decided to leave for other opportunities. I was having fun, but at 15, you don't want to be doing what you did when you were 12. Schneider also commented on her exit with, "I've seen kids in her position experiment with drugs and be too promiscuous, but Amanda has avoided all of that. My wife, who knows her, says she's almost like Marsha Brady in that she's so clean-cut and wholesome." This quote seems characteristically odd from Dan. Like she was just talking about transitioning to more mature roles like her sitcom What I Like About You, and he had to bring up drugs and sex for some reason. Many years later, cast members would come out and speak about how they perceived Amanda behind the scenes. Actress Chelsea Brummett, who co-starred on All That, recalled, "She was closed off to everyone. You'd ask her a question and she'd give you a quick answer to end the conversation. She was always defiant with her dad, but she tried to hide things from her dad. She always seemed like she was trying to hide things. They would butt heads." This recountment does line up with the timeline of 2003, where Amanda sought to be emancipated from her parents at just 17 years old. In June of 2003, Amanda's agent, manager, and lawyer were all abruptly fired by her parents. The young star, now 17, was seeking legal emancipation from her parents, who were furious when they discovered that the reps had concealed this fact from them. Unfortunately, Amanda was not able to successfully get emancipated. During this rough patch in her life, Bynes reportedly leaned on Schneider and his wife, Lisa Lillian, for support. "She was spending a lot of time with us," said Lillian, "but she never left her family's house." This direct quote from Dan's wife is strong evidence that Dan and Amanda were close off set. Amanda has spoken out very strongly against her father and maybe at the time looked at Schneider as a replacement father figure. Dan also recently recounted a night where Amanda ran away from home.
One night, it was very late, well after midnight, 1 or 2 in the morning. Phone rang. I answered. It was Amanda. She was upset. She was in distress. She had had some conflict with her parents, I think her father, and she called me. I was immediately concerned about her safety. I called someone who I knew was fairly nearby. That person was able to go and pick her up. Then I knew she was safe. I felt better.
Safe?
She ended up being taken to the police.
As much as people—
Yo, motherfucker! You wanted to say fuck a minor, nigga! You don't care about safety, bro. You just want to fuck kids. We know what you want to do, my nigga. And get this... Ooh. Yo, if I say COON on stream, would that get me banned? Yes or no? I really need answers on that. I was really about to say that shit.
People blame Dan for the downfall of Amanda's career, or claim that he had suspicious involvement that's deeper and more inappropriate. Throughout Amanda's whole life and numerous public spirals, she never blamed or accused Dan Schneider of anything. All of her anger and horrible accusations were towards her biological father. However, the cloud of mystery and potentially inappropriate behavior surrounding Amanda, as well as her obviously broken family life, seemed to be a common gray area Dan found himself in with his stars. Over the years, some of the most prominent stars like Jamie Lynn Spears, Jeanette McCurdy, and Ariana Grande all had absent fathers. On one hand, you can blame the parents. On another, you could look at Dan as a predatory opportunist. Or maybe it's a little bit of both. But there was a real convicted predator who worked underneath Dan Schneider. Jason Handy, a production assistant who worked on All That and The Amanda Show, exchanged email addresses and phone numbers with parents and kids who thought he was a friendly and helpful presence on set. You thought, oh, I could be friends with this person, said MJ, the mother of a former actress on The Amanda Show, who was identified as Brandy. The mother was mortified when she saw her 11-year-old daughter looking at a graphic email from Handy.
It was a picture of him naked.
What?
Masturbating. And he said he had sent it to her because he wanted her to see that he was thinking of her.
Her daughter left the entertainment industry after that email. Handy was arrested in April of 2003 after law enforcement... Look at this
chopped ass Nick... Yo, spell, say L for this nigga Handy. Notice how, technically he was giving himself a handy and his name is Handy. Clever puns.
Enforcement received a tip about him. When the police investigated his home, they found over 1,700 images of young girls in erotic poses, as well as 7 videos on CD files of children engaged in sexually explicit conduct.
Nigga,
in
what?
his personal diary, he wrote sentences engaged in sexually poses, as well as 7 videos on CD files of children engaged in sexually explicit conduct.
Oh my God,
in Handy's personal diary, he wrote sentences like, "I am a pedophile full-blown." He added, "I have really been giving into my desire for little girls these past few weeks."
I want you to read this part though. Fuck what's highlighted. Can we look at this for a second? Found over 10,000 images of children, right? And over 1,700 images of younger girl children. In certain sexual poses. Let's just say that, right? And 7 videos of CD files of these motherfuckers doing sexual things. Get this nigga. I hope this nigga don't get out.
And then he detailed his day-to-day struggle on how he could find a victim that he could sexually assault. In 2004, Handy was sentenced to 6 years in prison after being convicted on 2 felony counts, one of lewd acts on a child and one of distributing sexually explicit material by email, as well as on a misdemeanor charge related to sexual exploitation of a child. Many of you are probably thinking 6 years is not enough, and surprise surprise, he got out and in 2014 committed 2 other felony sex offender violations.
Nigga, you tell me he got out? How? Hi. Who freed the nigga, bro? Gentlemen, who freed this nigga? Who freed this bitch ass nigga? Who freed this bitch ass nigga? Who freed him, bro?
Violations with a child. Allegedly, Handy's case prompted Nickelodeon to toughen its background checks for all employees, trying to prevent this from happening again. Yet somehow, this was not even close to the last time a pedophile would infiltrate Nickelodeon's network. Actor Drake Bell formed a bond with the dialogue coach Brian Peck during the 2nd season of The Amanda Show. Peck, who has no relation to Drake's co-star Josh Peck, would invite Drake to his house for acting lessons. These lessons were supervised by Drake's father, Joe, who was told that Brian Peck was a skilled coach who would help Drake secure more acting opportunities. However, over time, Joe became uncomfortable with their relationship.
And unfortunately, I started seeing Brian start to just hang around Drake too much. And it didn't set well with me.
Wait, was Drake
in the dressing room or something, and in would pop Brian. And
I'm confused. What happened to Drake? Did he just get groomed a minute to that?
Drake. You know, do things that
he started grooming children. Cause I know he groomed
Drake can put that on himself.
Like back in like 20 something.
Joe expressed his concerns with production personnel and said he was uncomfortable with Brian, only to be called homophobic because of Brian's sexual orientation. Therefore, Joe backed off. Once this got back to Brian, he manipulated Drake into severing ties with his father/manager, suggesting that Joe was sabotaging Drake's career. Peck subsequently integrated himself into multiple areas of Bell's life and became a father figure for the young actor. Eventually, Peck convinces Drake's mother to let him stay at his house during auditions. These predators entice the children with fame and fortune, convince them that their parents are trying to hold them back, then totally isolate them and do who knows what behind closed doors. It's likely that all the kids who made it out unscathed were because of parents who stepped in and removed their child from the situation before it was too late. However, the more popular the actor was, such as Drake Bell, the more difficult it became to remove them from the industry. Sadly, with Brian Peck and Drake Bell, we do know what happened behind closed doors. When Drake slept on Brian's couch, the sexual assault began.
I was sleeping on the couch where I would usually sleep.
Bro, just for my nigga Drake.
I woke up
for this
to
moment.
Him.
Afterwards, fuck the nigga.
Opened my eyes, I woke up, and he was sexually assaulting me. Why don't you think of the worst stuff that someone can do to somebody as a sexual assault? And that'll answer your question.
Drake wouldn't tell anyone for several months. The abuse persisted until Drake began spending more time at a girlfriend's house. One day, when he was supposed to meet with Brian, Drake said he did not want to hang out. Brian then started calling his phone nonstop. When Drake failed to answer, Brian obsessively started calling his girlfriend's house, which is when the girlfriend's mother suspected something was wrong and took Drake to her family therapist. He later detailed the abuse to his own mother, who called the police. I had to be excruciatingly detailed about every single thing and time that it had happened with 2 absolute strangers. The worst part was I had to make a phone call to Brian and get him to admit to what he'd done. The police monitored a wired phone call with Brian, who broke into a full-on confession that led to his arrest. The investigation was conducted privately, and Bell remained unidentified to the public for several years due to his age at that time. Drake did tell Dan Schneider about this situation right before the trial.
And when Drake and I talked and he told me what had happened, I was more devastated by that than anything that ever happened.
You are not devastated, bro.
Thus far.
Nigga, if it wasn't for him, it would have been you. It definitely would have been you, Dan. I can't lie. Don't act like you want to fuck that man. Be serious.
And I told him, I'm here for you. What do you need? But Drake's mom, a lovely woman who I stay in contact with this day, she came to me at the time and she said, Dan, I'm not good with
lovely woman who want to fuck her and his kid at the age of 13.
Words like you are.
You like kids, boy. You like kids,
Would you
bro.
help me
like
with my speech for the judge?
He's crying for how many kids he wanted to fuck.
I said, of course. I did.
During Brian Peck's trial, numerous prominent figures in the entertainment industry wrote letters of support vouching for his character, including James Marsden, Taran Killam, Growing Pains star Alan Thicke, Boy Meets World actors Will Friedle and Ryder Strong, among others.
What?
Some of these figures, including Friedle and Strong, have since expressed their regret over writing the letters and stated that they were manipulated by Peck's misinformation. Brian Peck was convicted of child molestation in 2004, pleading no contest to a charge of oral copulation with a minor under 16 and a charge of performing a lewd act with a 14 or 15-year-old. He spent only 16 months in prison and was mandated to register as a sex offender. And if you are surprised at that abysmally low sentencing, Peck got out and secured a job working for Disney's The Sweet Life of Zack and Cody in 2006, where he voiced London Tipton's talking mirror for 3 episodes. The Disney Channel hired a registered sex offender. Despite these horrible circumstances, Drake
Disney, what the fuck? I can't say no. I just realized they be hitting niggas with the band hammer like
in the
fucking
industry
crazy.
and would
Never
go on
mind.
to star alongside Josh Peck in their legendary buddy comedy Drake and Josh, which again
Yo,
caused
Disney,
the
I still
network's
support
ratings
y'all
to
niggas.
explode to new
Y'all
heights. The series premiere was watched
Walt
by 3.2
Disney,
million
mouse,
viewers, the
the
network's
mouse, I
highest
love
rated
you.
series premiere in nearly 10 years. Drake and
Not
Josh
'cause of the shit
episodes
you
regularly
did,
saw
but-
viewership upwards of 5, 6, 7 million. As of
I don't wanna get
2006, the show
striked.
ranked consistently among the 10 most watched cable shows across all of television, and you could just add Zoe 101 to the list of Dan's dominant programs, which saw an average of 3 million viewers per episode. It was on the set of Zoe 101 where even more photos emerged of Dan getting a little too comfortable with the cast, particularly Erin Sanders, who was merely a child being held and coddled on Dan's lap. You can also see this photo where Dan's hand is resting on the child's
What
lower
the
back.
fuck?
Zoe 101 also had 34 different kissing scenes across its 4 seasons. While this may not seem that strange for a teen drama show, it did often lead to underage female actresses kissing over 18-year-old males. Brando Eaton was 20 years old and Victoria Justice was 14.
Are we dead ass? Play vid.
Victoria at this time also had to kiss Jaron Vosberg, who was 18. And get this, 12-year-old Jamie Lynn Spears had to kiss 22-year-old Justin Timberlake on the set of All That, and Justin dated Britney Spears, which is Jamie's sister, 3 years earlier. Also, this Zoe 101 scene resurfaced recently, and many believe it to be a sexual innuendo. Spears' co-star, Alexa Nikolas, recalled Dan making a crew member squirt the syringe of goo at Spears over and over again. It's also important to remember that all of the information that you now know from this video was totally unknown by the public at the time. All the allegations and predatory behavior was all silenced before they could ever reach headlines. Barely any media outlets were reporting on why pedophiles were allowed to work on set. Survivors were scared to speak their truth, and even if they wanted to, they would have to go through a publicist or rely on a potentially corrupt media outlet to tell their story the right way. All anyone saw was the final product on television, so we assumed everything was consensual and safe and approved by people who had the best interests of the children in mind. Even even if the network was suspicious of Dan and his production staff, which they weren't, they were going to do anything and everything to protect his reputation because Nickelodeon was red hot. At this point, they had been the #1 network in viewers aged 2 to 11 for over a decade. They were raking in millions of viewers and billions of dollars. Dan had more power than ever and was about to unleash all of his sick fantasies through iCarly. The basic premise of iCarly was that Carly Shay, played by previous Drake and Josh co-star Miranda Cosgrove, and her friends Sam and Freddie, played by Jeanette McCurdy and Nathan Kress, produced a web show from Carly's older brother's apartment. The show resonated with the real-world rise of online content creation and the growing influence of social media platforms like YouTube during the 2000s. The show within a show encouraged fan interaction by incorporating segments that invited viewers to participate in the show's interactive elements. Additionally, the characters often responded to fan mail and viewer submissions on their web show, further blurring the lines between fiction and reality. Like, take a look at this time they called a 12-year-old fan.
Do you have any questions for Sydney?
I follow your Twitter.
How old are you?
I'm 12.
No way, I just turned 16.
You're 12?
Damn.
I'm like a little over double that.
Yeah, Jerry's all old.
Unk.
So, what do you like about iCarly?
I love it. It's really funny.
Anything else you want to know about iCarly or any questions or anything?
No.
No? You're all set?
Nope.
Thank you.
I know what I know.
Would you like us to get on a plane and come to your house?
Huh? Yo! Nigga, if it wasn't a minor, that shit probably would have worked. Yo, Dan. Get some bitches your age that actually probably could have worked. That's good game methods. You're just shooting that shit at the wrong crowd.
Well, that's not gonna happen. Oh, okay. Okay.
Dan himself often communicated directly with fans on his blog, danwarp.blogspot.com, where he gave behind-the-scenes information and did Q&As. He also started giving tons of behind-the-scenes clips to his Dan Warp YouTube channel, giving us insight on the cast's uncomfortability around him.
What? It wouldn't be a video from iCarly if I didn't do this to you.
I don't.
Oh, God! What are you doing?
I don't know.
What's going on? What are you wearing today? Who did your outfit? I've had too much caffeine.
Don't do anything with this footage.
If you guys want me to shake ass on stream,
Did you know
give me
that
some
the
subs.
average adult American
Not
male
kidding.
has 18 hairs on each
As soon
of
as
his
I
toes?
hear give me 5 subs, I'll shake some ass.
Seriously. Let us go home, Dan.
We would be home if you had gotten some of your lines right earlier in the day, right? Am I right?
He loves staying with these kids.
Yeah, who's embarrassed now? Who's embarrassed? No! What are you doing?
I'm scared.
Jeanette, Susie May Page wants to know.
May Page.
Yeah, if you could fill a pool with... Get out of here.
Sorry.
Wants to know if you could fill a pool with anything you like and swim in it, what would it be and why?
Confetti, because it's a celebration in the pool.
Okay, that makes no sense.
Valid.
Miranda,
Pineapple juice.
what? I didn't ask the question.
Oh, sorry. Well, I heard. I was thinking this whole time.
Okay, the question is, if you wanted me to hit you with a bottle of something, what would it be? Pineapple juice? Okay, here comes. This is why I'm in Hollywood.
Yeah. Get your cereal, kids.
Gay ass nigga.
Because I will tase her if necessary.
Huh?
I have the taser. We haven't had to use it in a long time.
I said lots of nice things.
Oh, I said nice things about you too.
Oh.
That's gonna
Knows how nigga went in for a kiss.
That's gonna get on TV.
They got dodged.
In these clips, you can get a glimpse of Dan's unpredictability. I mean, just look at how Miranda steps away from Dan as he proceeds to make his way around her back, and then hugs her from behind as she stands awkwardly still. As you can see, while Dan is shoving a camera in these actors' faces, they're often confused. Is he joking? Is he angry? Is he creepy? Is he going to touch them or grab them? They look extremely uncertain around him as he talks to them like a classic jester. But iCarly was a massive success for the network throughout its 6 seasons from 2007 to 2012.
Can we give the girl that played Sam justice? I feel like she had it the worst. I'm not gonna lie. Cause she dead ass cannot like face this nigga at all. Like legitly, she has not come back to acting at all for how bad she got treated, bro. Get justice for her. I can't lie.
The pilot episode debuted on Nickelodeon to an audience of 4.1 million, followed by the second episode on the same day with 3.9 million viewers. The show was nominated for an Emmy Award for Outstanding Children's Program 5 times and averaged 4.6 million viewers throughout its time.
Damn!
Somehow, Dan managed to outdo Drake and Josh. But looking back on the show, many of the jokes and innuendos were more blatant than we remember.
How long?
3.2 seconds.
Yeah! That's the longest it's ever taken you to beat me.
Or how about the sack, which was Dan making fun of the Snuggie.
You're just sitting on your couch trying to polish your bowling ball, but your blanket keeps flying off your body.
Chat, what's a Snuggie? Can I say that? Can I even say that?
Like, are we reading into it too much, or is polishing your ball while advertising the sack not strategic? They mentioned that the sack comes in 4 different colors.
The sack comes in rash red, mucus green, pus yellow, or blue.
His shows are always displaying close-ups of feet and putting cast members in predicaments where they have to touch each other's feet. Nobody thinks feet are this funny, especially not for them to be such a recurring bit in a television show. Many have pointed out that the Nickelodeon logo at one point was a foot, suggesting that Dan's influence was so strong he got them to change their logo momentarily to his fetish. I even found something on his blog that was particularly interesting. He had a segment called Fun Facts on his blog where he would go through an iCarly script and talk about tiny little details and why they matter. Like this one where he refers to Sam's necklace and how it's made of the same plastic that the antique radios that he collects are made out of. I mention this because it proves that there are no coincidences with what you see on screen. No matter how small or insignificant it may seem, Dan put it there on purpose. In this same episode, which is called I Date a Bad Boy, Dan says, scenes begin with Carly and Sam cutting a boy's hair. We see the first of 2 penny teas in this 1-hour episode. This one on Sam says, noodle booty. What does noodle booty mean? Why did Dan specifically point out her shirt and want us to know what it says? In another blog post, he specifically points out one of his intentionally inappropriate jokes. One where he wrote a joke where an adult woman sexualizes 17-year-old Nathan Kress. Dan writes, on the first few takes when Jane said her line, hey, those pants fit you real good, she was looking at the front of his pants. I had the director step in quietly and tell her that, because this is for Nickelodeon, we'd prefer she look at the back of his pants on that line. Winky face. I guess Dan thinks that complimenting a young boy's butt is somehow more appropriate. Additionally, take a look at this 2010 blog post where he discusses adults who watch iCarly. He writes, there are around 150 people who work on iCarly, and none of us approach it like we're making a kid's show. We make iCarly no differently than if we were writing and producing a primetime half-hour comedy for NBC, CBS, or any one of the major broadcast networks. This statement directly contradicts what he said while addressing the Quiet on Set documentary.
Some people think that some of those jokes are inappropriate for children. What do you think of that?
Every one of those jokes
I
was
can't
written
sit in this
for
chair
a kid
no more.
audience.
I'm not gonna lie.
Because kids thought they were funny, and only funny.
So Dan, are the jokes for adults, like you said 10 years ago on your blog, or are they for kids, like you just said recently when the pressure is at an all-time high? It was also during iCarly when 47-year-old Martin Weiss, who managed dozens of child actors, was formally charged with sexually abusing a former client. The victim told police that he had sex with Weiss 30 to 40 times about 6 years ago, and the abuse ended when he turned 15 years old. But Weiss denied that it was rape because the 15-year-old boy showed interest. But the boy said that Martin convinced him that this was common in the industry and denying him would ruin his career. Yet again, a pedophile infiltrated Nickelodeon, and nothing changed. Still, Dan was absolutely dominating. He likely had unimaginable power at the network. Whatever he said goes, but he may have gotten a little too comfortable, maybe even cocky, because his next 2 shows, Victorious and Sam and Cat, would start to get him in a lot of trouble. Schneider was challenged with writing a competitor to Disney Channel's Hannah Montana. Zoe 101 had recently ended, and Dan knew that featured actress Victoria Justice had star power. If there is anything I've learned about kids today, and I'm not saying this is good or bad, it's that they all want to be stars. This direct quote.
Can we all come to an agreement and also say that Victoria Justice is low-key, like, she beautiful? Nah, I know, like, creepy ass way.
from Dan potentially backs up accusations that he uses these teenagers' desires for stardom to manipulate them. Ironically, the plot of Victorious is about a girl who attends a performing arts school and aspires to be a famous singer. In 2010, iCarly and Victorious were the top 2 live-action shows on Nickelodeon, helping Nick maintain its 16-year status as the #1 network on all of cable. Victorious aired from 2010 to 2013 through 4 seasons, winning Favorite TV Show at the 2012 and 2013 Kids' Choice Awards, beating out iCarly, as well as receiving 4 Emmy nominations. To the surprise of no one, Dan created another iconic children's TV show, but at what cost? Before the show premiered, Nickelodeon Productions partnered with the Columbia Epic label group of Sony Music Entertainment to co-produce the series to develop talent and release their music. Ariana Grande famously got her big break on Victorious. She was the perfect addition to the show due to her amazing singing capabilities, but her role on the show was the airheaded girl who says literally anything that is on her mind, perfect for Dan to take advantage of and insert more innuendos.
Sometimes I wonder if you can get juice from a potato.
Gang.
Is it possible for a teenage girl to drink water upside down? I'm thirsty.
Bro.
It's not possible.
What the fuck? Yo, Dan, you a bitch ass nigga!
The scope of Dan and the Victorious cast behind the scenes has been dissected many times over the years, where Ariana and Elizabeth Gillis seem visibly uncomfortable due to Dan's presence.
That was one of the better things I've ever heard.
Hey.
Hi, what's going on here?
You didn't cut out that part.
Why are you sitting on the floor of the set?
Ariana is constantly looking around, covering up her body as Dan towered over her. Many in the comments speculate that Liz started causing distractions so that Dan wouldn't do whatever they seemed to be afraid of. However, Liz Gillis actually ended up marrying a Nickelodeon producer that she met on the set of Victorious. Michael Corcoran is a very close friend to Dan Schneider. He wrote the theme songs for iCarly.
Nigga, what?
And Victorious. Liz and Michael began dating in 2012 when she was 18 and he was 40. They did meet.
That's one of y'all niggas in chat. Y'all, that's y'all future. I can't lie. It's y'all future.
On set before she was 18, which leads many to believe that she was groomed, but they're still together to this day. According to Jeanette McCurdy, Schneider regularly compared the iCarly cast to that of Victorious. The Victorious kids get drunk together all the time. The iCarly kids are so wholesome. We need to give you guys a little edge, Schneider said, according to McCurdy. Now, supplying minors with alcohol is a major accusation. There is definitely a lot of online evidence showing that the Victorious cast were very close, often mingling and hanging out after hours, but whether or not they are drunk is impossible to determine. However, the actor who portrayed Beck on Victorious may have confirmed McCurdy's statements on a TikTok that read, "When you don't remember the plotline to a single Victorious episode, but you remember going out partying every night." Daniela Monet, who played the lead's older sister, Trina Vega, told Insider that some of the actors' outfits on the show were not age appropriate, and that she wouldn't even wear some of that today as an adult. Daniela also recalled a time when she contacted Nickelodeon about a Victorious scene where she ate a pickle while applying lip gloss. She expressed concern to the network that it was too sexual to air, but Nickelodeon aired it anyway. And in case you were wondering if Dan ever slowed down on his foot content, no. He actually ramped it up.
There we go.
What the fuck? Nigga. Can we look at this for a second? Can we just really can we observe this real quick? This is absurd, nigga. Wait, guys, I want to check something. If I leave this shit on my thing for a little longer, do you think I'll get more views? Not mind, someone clicked off.
Spread your toes.
I'm sorry.
Woo! I still say this is not performing.
How about two girls fighting over a guy's foot while he sings a song?
Wow, they're really soft. Nurses, feel these kids' feet.
But it was around 2012 and 2013 when people online finally started to question what was going on at Nickelodeon. I believe it was due to Amanda Bynes' very public downward spiral. It was around this time she made headlines for her first DUI, assaulting a member of the paparazzi, being seen in public looking disheveled and distraught. Then she was evicted from her New York City apartment. and she got some strange dimple piercings and even posted lewd photos that were not very flattering.
What?
In short, people were saying that she was going crazy, and naturally they started to question the children's television industry that she grew up in.
Yo, what's her name now? What's the actor's name? I need it real quick.
An infamous blind item appeared on the Crazy Days and Nights blog of someone trying to warn the public about Dan. He's a monster, the worst predator alive. And if you wonder why nobody will confront or charge him, he's in charge of multiple hit shows for Nick, which rakes in oceans of money. What about the parents? No tweener parent who shoved their kid into the limelight from birth is going to cross him either, and risk career suicide and loss of revenue, no matter how bad it F's up the kids. It was also around this time that a Redditor alleged that Dan offered them $100 to tickle their feet while on set of one of his shows. Now, none of these claims were backed by any real... did get people talking. Media outlets finally began speaking out.
I gotta watch this part, bro. What is it?
It was also around this time that a Redditor alleged that Dan offered them $100 to tickle their feet while on set of one of his shows. Now, none of these claims were backed by any real or substantial evidence, but it did get people talking. Media outlets finally began speaking out, questioning the intentions of children's TV, specifically pointing to the sexual nature of Victorious. Those designer threads often have an adult sexiness that unsuccessfully straddles the line between tasteful and trampy. While guys are allowed to be quirky and weird-looking, girls are uniformly cast from the same Bratz doll mold. Meanwhile, you had Dan posting things on his blog like, "But what Kat does in this scene is a special variation of the spit take, where the liquid just falls out of her mouth. Yes, this is what I do for a living. I analyze the various kinds of spit takes. Not a bad job." Smiley face. After this quote from Dan, we now know that this photo, which is on the official Zoe 101 IMD page, showing Victoria Justice with spit falling out of her mouth, is probably his creation. You also had people in the early 2010s analyzing his old tweets, ones where he was constantly talking about people's feet and toes. "This toe belongs to one of the stars on one of my shows. Whose toe is this?" To which he later tweeted, "The toe belongs to the sweet and hilariously talented Miss Jeanette McCurdy. Sam and Cat tomorrow. Right on the bottom of your foot, take a pic and use hashtag Sam and Cat Saturday.
Nigga, huh? Yo, chat, if I did this shit, would y'all send me feet pics? I'm not kidding. Like, if I actually did this, would y'all send me feet pics?
Will retweet and follow until our fingers get sore. I also found this extremely old Pepsi commercial Dan starred in the late 80s, which potentially features an innuendo with the lotion shot splattering on the guy's chest, then the focus of the entire commercial being on his feet not wanting to touch the sand because it's hot, and of course there's females in the background in their bikinis. Dan was unaware of the digital renaissance aiming to take him down, and he was as reckless as ever. iCarly was officially over, and Victorious was scheduled to end a few months later. Schneider decided to hit two birds with one stone and make a dual spin-off for both shows. He took a fan favorite from iCarly in Sam Puckett and a fan favorite from Victorious in Cat Valentine, and created a teen sitcom titled Sam and Cat. The premise of the show revolved around the unlikely friendship of Sam and Cat, who meet and become roommates in Los Angeles while starting their own babysitting business to make ends meet.
Actually, which is basically who's your guys' favorite in Victorious? Mine was not Cat. Mine was Andre. I feel like they need Andre deserved his own show. I can't lie.
The same plot as his failed primetime sitcom from the 90s. The pilot debuted on Nickelodeon to 4.2 million viewers and was surprisingly popular despite being a spin-off that was clearly inferior to its original shows. However, Sam and Cat only lasted one season and was cancelled following controversy behind the scenes. Firstly, Jeanette McCurdy posted this strange Vine.
"Hey Dan Schneider,
what
I know you're watching my Vine. Do you like my Vine? Fine. Look what you've done to me."
Considering she would speak out against him 10 years later, we now know this was not our imagination. He was really making her crazy. In her 2022 memoir, I'm Glad My Mom Died, McCurdy detailed her childhood and how her mother, Deborah, forced her to become a child actor. Schneider was also mentioned in the memoir solely as the creator, who McCurdy claimed created an unsafe work environment, frequently subjecting the cast and crew to emotional abuse. When Jeanette turned 18 and iCarly was coming to an end, the creator allegedly dangled the opportunity for Jeanette to have her own spin-off. She wrote that the creator took her out to to dinner, where he encouraged her to try alcohol for the first time and gave her a
What?
shoulder massage. The
Can't
creator
you
is
not
doing
drink,
that.
Wasn't it not already a law you can't drink alcohol when you're like 20, like until like you're 21? Wasn't this shit not illegal? Am I tripping?
Thing that I've heard from my co-stars he does with every new star of a
That was
show
my-
that he's making. He takes you under
I'm
his
sorry for
wing.
stuttering.
You're his favorite.
Jesus
Additionally,
Christ.
there was a feud between Ariana and Jeanette brewing behind the scenes. On Jeanette's podcast, she discussed her time on Sam and Cat, revealing that she was jealous of Ariana Grande because executives allowed her the opportunity to pursue other business ventures while
Golly.
restricting McCurdy's career advancement. Every time something exciting happens to her, I feel like she robbed me of having that experience myself. And every time someone calls me a good sport, all I feel is how much I don't want to be one. Ariana misses work in pursuit of her music career while I act with a box.
You had to be
I'm pissed
22
about
for
it,
real?
and I'm pissed at her, jealous of her. In case you're wondering, one episode of Sam and Cat was based
Yeah, I'm
around
right, I was
Cat
from-
getting
I was
trapped in
right,
the
you had to be
box, and
21.
Sam spent
This-
the
this
whole
shit was
episode
already
trying to
illegal.
get her out. The writers had to come up with an episode without her because Ariana was busy with her music career and couldn't film. This show getting canceled after one very successful season was likely due to this feud, but I'm sure Dan's behavior towards Jeanette and Ariana made it easy for them to sever ties with Nickelodeon. This basically marks the end of Dan's dominance at the network. He was recognized for his 20 years of work at Nickelodeon with their very first Lifetime Achievement Award in 2014. For the few online that were aware of the rumors surrounding Dan, this award rubbed them the wrong way. Slowly in 2014 and after, we saw more media coverage pointing out inappropriate moments in his shows. But again, the masses, the general public, had no idea what he was doing. And for a few years, people stopped talking about him online, until 2017, when the
Damn,
Harvey
long as shit.
Weinstein Me Too movement shook industry predators to their core, and Dan tried to make it out unscathed. In October of
I did this
2017,
video. Should we try to
investigative
like make
reports
this
by the
stream
New
like
York
3 hours
Times
long?
and the New
just so I
Yorker
can just say
exposed
it-
decades
it's
of
been 3
sexual
hours and
harassment, assault,
I just cut
and
that shit.
misconduct allegations against film producer Harvey Weinstein. This prompted bloggers who knew about Dan's history to discuss him once again. More blind items from the Crazy
I
Days
said I
and
think
Nights
I might
blog
as well just go
emerged,
for the
like
3
this
hour,
one
I
that
can't
suggests Dan, the
I
producer,
might
was
as well.
sleeping with cast members. A producer who
unplug
has
this
been
real
featured
quick.
on
Oh,
this
yeah, I'm just
site
gonna
from
go
almost
for
the
the
very
3 hours.
beginning. When she landed the part, the producer never mentioned anything about sleeping with her. All but one of them were underage. She suspected that because she was legal for almost the entire run of the show, that he was just not that into her. At some point, he did try and sleep with her and she turned him down. That rejection cost her a bunch of
That's
scene
just probably how much
reductions.
an AMP
Meanwhile, the
video-
producer
I mean,
found
catch
someone
my
else to
AMP.
sleep with who was also legal but loved to roleplay super young. She was getting the good lines and scenes. She was being offered crossover opportunities and new shows were being developed for her. And again, this could just be people spreading lies, but now the pressure was on, and Nickelodeon, Dan Schneider, they could feel the heat. Websites like The Revenge of the Sis became fully dedicated to exposing the creepy nature of the Nickelodeon network. Coincidentally, as the pressure was at an all-time high, Nickelodeon cut ties with Dan Schneider in March of 2018 and paid him the $7 million still owed on his contract. They claim this separation was a natural next step and they are proud of the work he did for Nickelodeon. Deadline Hollywood reported that there had been complaints about Schneider's alleged behavior, including his well-documented temper issues for years. Following reports that Nickelodeon and
What the hell
Schneider
happened
parted
to
ways,
Venezuela?
Dan's Twitter account went quiet. He only rarely made
What
public
happened to
appearances.
Venezuela?
He also tried to erase everything on his blog, but
Is that what we have to
we still
watch
got
next?
that. Nickelodeon Studios even released its reboot of iCarly for the Paramount Plus streaming platform without Schneider.
Sam never
From
came
Dan's
back.
exit in 2018 until today, YouTubers, bloggers, previous cast members, and media outlets greatly contributed to informing the public about Dan's ways. Perhaps the most detailed and detrimental article was the 2022 Business Insider Deep Dive, which interviewed 15 of Dan's former co-workers, some of which spoke horrible things and others defended his character. Dan cared about the kids on his shows even when sometimes their own families unfortunately did not. Russell Hicks, Nickelodeon's former president of content and production, wrote, "He was the shoulder they cried on when something happened to them. He understood what they were going through."
What do you mean the
Schneider
US
drew
took their
hours away
president?
from writing scripts and instead spent time mingling with the stars on his
Venezuela not in
shows,
Mexico,
taking
am I
them out to
tripping?
dinner and
I
inviting
low-key
them
don't
to
know
his house for
geographic
holiday
shit.
parties. It became so frequent that some of Schneider's colleagues questioned the amount of time he spent interacting with young actors. While Dan focused on being accepted by the children on his shows, several writers and crew members claimed Schneider created an uncomfortable, bizarre environment, regularly demanding 14-plus hour days days and
Alright,
expected
bet. We'll look
writers
it
and
up
crew
after this
members to
vid.
be available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. More disturbing was Schneider's behavior towards female crew members, reportedly hugging them for extended periods as a joke, making people uncomfortable. Schneider also requested massages from adult female colleagues during his tenure at the network, according to several Nickelodeon staffers. Kerry Mellon, who worked as a costumer on Schneider's shows for 14 years, said Schneider received weekly massages from a third member of the costume team. They also claimed that Schneider would ask the women to give him a massage by reaching under his shirt. Despite claims that he fostered a hostile work environment, Schneider's shows at Nickelodeon were greenlighted because of his influence within the company. On-set employees rarely pushed back against Schneider. Another writer said, "Because you just didn't cross Dan. He was a really scary presence." However, it took all the way until the Quiet on Set documentary before Dan ever responded to any of these allegations. But during this 20-minute interview, he basically only admits to being mean to his writers.
I would snap at people sometimes. I would be
Of course this
snarky
nigga will
when
be
I
mean
could've
to
given
his
them a
writers. You
nicer
just want to
answer.
fuck a kid.
I would not give people the time that they needed.
Like,
I
bro,
would
he
be too
only
in a
did
hurry
this
to get
because
on
the
to the
nigga
next
knew
thing I had
damn
to
well in
do.
his future he
And
will always
watching
fuck
that
the
show,
children.
it made me.
He always
there
been
were so
looking
many
at
times I
children the
wanted to
wrong
pick up the
way.
phone and call
I've been
some of the
doing
people
this.
and say, I'm so sorry.
I've
and
been
let's talk
doing
about it.
this.
And I wish you'd had a better time, and I wish I could have shown you a better experience.
The rest of
That
this
nigga don't wish
conversation
that.
was
He
him
wanna
deflecting
fuck them
blame.
too.
He said that his inappropriate jokes
That
were
nigga just wanted to
approved by
crack
the
people.
executives at Nickelodeon that were above him, and they didn't think the jokes were inappropriate at the time. But he also said that since people are upset about those jokes, then he's okay with erasing them, which makes people wonder, are they inappropriate or not? He claims he had no knowledge of any sexual assault that any of his previous cast members experienced, but he did admit to demanding massages.
Let's talk about the massages.
Okay.
Watching the content yesterday, it was disturbing.
It was wrong. It was wrong that I ever put anybody in that position. It was the wrong
We
thing to
got
do.
ours.
I'd never do it today. I'm embarrassed that I did it then. I apologize to anybody that I ever put in that situation. And even additionally, I apologize to the people who were walking around Video Village or wherever they happened, because there were lots of people there who witnessed it who also may have felt uncomfortable. So I owe them an apology as well.
Yeah.
He 100% wholeheartedly admitted that he forced
broke
people
my
to touch him,
glasses.
which is interesting because it becomes very difficult to believe that he would stop there. Perhaps the craziest part about this video is that there's still so much more that I could cover. Some people's entire YouTube channels are dedicated to bringing Dan's dark secrets to light. But I do want to leave off with this message. Just remember that it's easy to think that this is all just entertainment because, well, these allegations feature some of our favorite child stars. Remember that they were real victims that had to suffer. People have gotten so wrapped up and excited about this expose that they're now blaming innocent people for being complicit in these alleged crimes. For example, Zoe 101 star Matthew Underwood was getting death threats for not speaking out against
For
Dan
what?
Schneider. So to prove to these people that he is innocent, he voiced 2 different times where he was sexually assaulted as a minor. So now, after hearing many of the allegations, the rumors, the testimonies, the convictions, the confessions surrounding Dan Schneider's time on Nickelodeon, is it all just a coincidence, a conspiracy, or a calculated crime conglomerate?
Ew.
On the set of the most
Low-key W vid.
Is it a coincidence that 3 convicted
W
pedophiles were
Patrick
working?
CC. But what did I search on now? Venezuela? Venezuela news. U.S. strikes Venezuela and captures minerals. Trump says we're going to run the country. So you were actually dead ass? What the fuck? Yo, GG's. 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 I have no idea what I'm gonna do for the 3-hour mark. I'm not gonna lie. What we gonna do? Realistically, I don't know what we're gonna do. The Jack Doherty files. Would that be bad to watch? Wait, no, I said we're gonna watch AMP vids. But we def saving this for tomorrow though, I can't lie. We watching that tomorrow. Are you dead ass? Their president was running a drug ring? No way. No shot. If that's the case, am I allowed to say that shit was kind of fire? If that's the case. Because just like, realistically, that kind of fire. Alright, so do we watch pull up SML or AMP? Which one? Which one? Puppets or AMP? Puppets or AMP? I'm not gonna say Puppets. I'm not gonna lie. I'd rather watch SML now. I can't lie. I ain't pop up. Why did SML reactions pop up? I don't want to watch no damn SML reactions. I'm the one reacting. Duh, nigga. I gotta watch this one, because this one I'm...
Guys, are you ready for 2026?
Yeah. Happy New Year, Shaq.
Dude, and we're getting close to the Grand Theft Auto 6. Oh, yeah, comes out next year.
Happy New Year.
I'm so excited.
Me too. I'm ready for 2026.
Wait, what? Cody, what's on your face?
Well, these are my glasses. I made them out of glow sticks to say 2026.
Dude, they look shitty. Yeah, there's tape all over them.
Well, I couldn't find any that look good, so I had to make my own.
That don't look good?
Roasted his ass. What, you can read them, right?
It says ZOZ6.
It says 2026.
More like 2020 shit. Yeah, 2020 shit. Good one, Joseph. Good one, Joseph.
I worked really hard on these.
No, you didn't. Yeah, you should have just went and like, bought some online.
Well, I tried, but I couldn't find any that looked good.
And you think those look better?
Well, I did the best I could, okay?
Can you even see through the tape?
Well, it's a little blurry, but yeah, I can kind of see.
It looks dumb, Cody.
Well, I'm sorry. I worked really hard on this.
You guys ready to watch the ball drop in an hour?
Yeah, dude. you're 17 and your balls still haven't dropped. You're that Joseph, your balls haven't dropped.
Was we about...
Was that supposed to be funny? Yeah.
What, you guys back up each other's jokes, but not mine?
Because my jokes are actually funny. 2020 shit, and they look bad. That's good.
Screw you guys.
All right, let's watch.
Hello and welcome to Steve Steelberger's New Year's Rockin' Eve here in New York City. The ball is going to be dropping in just a few minutes, so make sure you're next to somebody so you can kiss them at midnight. And if you don't have anyone to kiss, you're a loser.
Ooh, Jen, you hear that? At midnight, we're gonna smoochy poo.
Man, I wish I could smoochy poo Zendaya fine ass. Oh, I'd be tonguing her ass down at midnight. Like I'm in the episode of Euphoria. Oh, boy, I'd be freaked out.
Well, isn't she dating Spider-Man, though?
Man, fuck Spider-Man. He ain't even the best Spider-Man.
That is true.
Just because we're dating Tom Holland don't mean we can't score.
Why are you sad?
Because I'm single going into the new year. Me and Penelope broke up this year, and I just know at midnight she's gonna be making out with some random dude motorboating his nutsack.
That's how they always do.
Motorboating his nutsack?
That's just what they do, Cody.
I don't think...
That's what girls do when they break up with you. They find a new guy, and that's the first thing they do.
On New Year's Eve.
That the ball drops, and then...
Their ball drops.
I don't know. I feel like you're making a lot of assumptions.
Well, I wish I could get her back before the new year started.
Well, we only have like an hour before midnight.
I got
an idea.
What, dude?
Whoa, what if you call Penelope and invite her over for New Year's? Because if I invite her, she's going to say no. But what if you invite her over to hang out with us for New Year's, and then as soon as the ball drops, you kiss Ken, and I kiss Penelope, and then she realizes she misses me, because we kiss, and then we fall back in love, and then we're dating again.
Well, you're just going to randomly kiss her at midnight.
Well, the ball's going to drop, and everyone kisses someone at midnight when the ball drops. So I just kiss her, and then she remembers my lips, and she goes, oh my God, that's better than that random guy's nutsack, and then we start dating again.
Well, one, the nutsack thing hasn't even happened, and also, who's Joseph going to kiss?
I know. I feel all left out now.
Oh, ooh, what if we invite over Ugly Elizabeth?
Ugly Elizabeth? I don't want to kiss her ugly ass.
Come on, Joseph, take one for the team. Listen, if we invite Ugly Elizabeth over, here's the plan. You kiss Ken at midnight.
God,
You
I
kiss
just
Ugly
cursed the
Elizabeth.
fuck
Then
out of
Penelope's
that
gonna be like,
cat.
who am I gonna kiss? I'm gonna be standing right there. We kiss. We fall back in love. We're back together. Ugly Elizabeth can go home. We'll get hit by a train. Who gives a shit? And you can be happy or learn how to make glasses better.
Well, can I kiss Zendaya?
Man, my two's all fucked up. You know what? Fuck these stupid glasses.
Yeah.
I'm gonna spend the whole year practicing because
pure
2027
ham.
is gonna fucking suck.
Yeah. So go call Penelope. Please invite her over, Cody.
Okay, fine.
All right. Okay, Joseph. Please just kiss Ugly Elizabeth one time, please. Please.
But she got ugly ass face.
That's why she's called Ugly Elizabeth. Come on, please.
You owe me, dude.
I owe you. I'll give you my TV remote.
Your TV remote?
Yeah, for one night.
Okay.
Okay, Junior. I invited Penelope and Ugly Elizabeth.
And what'd they say?
Well, they said yes.
Girls are coming over. We gotta clean.
Wait, dude, clean what?
The couch.
I knew this seemed loud.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Looks great.
Yeah. Look. Okay. I mean, pretty much didn't do anything, but just let it.
It actually looks worse because the cushions.
How about this?
Leave it alone.
We good now? We good?
So what did Penelope say when you
good?
asked her?
Well, she didn't really seem happy to come over, but she also said her dad faked his death on Christmas so he didn't have to get her a present, so she doesn't want to be home right now. She's mad at him.
Savage.
Yeah. Okay.
Damn.
Oh, there's the door. All right, Cody. You have to answer the door so she knows I'm not here.
Well, Junior, it's your house. She's gonna assume you're here.
She knows this is my house.
Well, yeah, she's been here before, and I said come to Junior's house.
You still want to come even though it's my house? I'm so in there. All right, let's go answer the door, Cody. All right, Cody, you say hi.
It's your house.
Just say hi. I don't want Penelope to leave.
Hi.
Who invited Ugly Elizabeth?
Does anybody have a tissue?
I think I have a tissue.
Did y'all crack?
No.
Did y'all crack
You got a
this?
booger? Oh. What did you do? Oh, she ate it.
Sorry, my mom says it's rude to put my nose in front of people.
So you just eat it?
Yeah?
I like your green toe polish.
Oh, that's not toe polish, that's toe fungus from my athlete's foot.
I don't like feet anymore, Cody.
Who invited Ugly Elizabeth?
We did, Penelope, because our New Year's resolution is to be nice to everyone, not just average girls.
Is she okay?
I'm not cracking this. I'm not jacking it, bro.
Are you good?
Y'all never spot me jacking it, bro. I'm not jacking it.
All right, Joseph. The girls are here. Ugly Elizabeth, you can sit by Joseph.
Okay.
No, not too close, goddammit. 6 feet away, please. COVID rules, bitch. Get back.
She breathes like Darth Vader.
She breathing all on me. God damn it.
Joseph, please get back on your side of the couch. You're too close.
I don't want this hoe too close to me. She's gonna get me sick.
Will you hold my hand?
I'm not holding shit.
Yeah, you don't want to touch her. She's got pink eye. That means she doesn't wipe.
I went back to front when I do.
Yeah, you're screaming hepatitis. I know you're sick.
Everyone just calm down. The ball's about to drop.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Elizabeth's balls dropped years ago.
That was a good one.
No, hold on. I made that same joke earlier, and you guys said it was a bad joke.
What joke?
Well, you said the ball's gonna drop, and I said, oh, your balls haven't dropped yet?
Oh, that wasn't funny because it was about me.
What? Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's only funny when it's about other people. Like you say it.
Oh, the ball's about to drop.
Your balls haven't dropped yet, Cody?
Really good one. Where'd you come up with that?
What?
Where'd you go up with that joke? Me.
Oh.
Okay.
Let's watch
Let's watch the fucking countdown. How about that?
God damn it, if you cough on me one more time.
Can you guys calm down?
She's choking on her dandruff.
Oh, the ball's dropping.
Valid.
10, 9,
8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. New Year! Nigga, that's fucking betrayal.
Oh my god, Ken, what have I done?
Bro, murked Ken.
Cody, Joseph and Penelope are kissing. Who cares? I beheaded my boyfriend. Joseph and Penelope are kissing.
Bro, can't be serious.
Oh, I got a tooth in my mouth. She got a tooth in my mouth. Cody, help. Cody, her teeth are in my mouth. Oh, one of her boys.
I'm not checking the view count or the time thing. I'm only gonna be checking chat.
Uh-huh.
Why?
One of her boils popped in my mouth, Cody.
Oh.
It tastes
Dang.
like spoiled, expired mayonnaise with warheads in them.
Oh.
It's like a little bit of sour.
I'm
Ew.
so sorry, Junior.
Yeah.
The girls are leaving if you want to say bye.
Oh, yeah. I want to say bye.
Thanks for inviting us over, Cody.
It's not my house.
Text me, Joseph.
I will.
Oh, hell no.
So are we dating now, Junior?
Bruh.
Thank you.
Jesus.
Joseph, upstairs. No!
What the hell I do?
Go!
What's wrong, dude? Straight?
He's pretty mad.
I feel like you can understand this nigga's anger. Low key, if your homeboy did this shit to you, would you be mad? Comment below.
I can tell.
Ask me why.
Oh.
See?
Why?
Since you're gonna slam out your homeboy, you gotta do what you gotta
Cody,
do.
let's play a game. Since Joseph just doesn't fucking understand.
I don't. Sorry.
What? Cody, let's play a game. Why am I mad?
Is it because Joseph kissed Penelope?
Ding, 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 ding.
Oh shit! My bad, bro. I forgot.
My bad, bro. I forgot.
My bad. I didn't think it was that serious.
You didn't think? Are you fuck? Are you high?
No.
Look, think about this. Think about this for a second. What was the reason they came over in the first place?
I mean, the kiss, I guess.
Me! Me!
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Let's go over the plan. Let's go over the plan because someone forgot the
hell
plan.
no.
Do you think if
It's
SEAL Team
valid
6
crash
forgot
out
the
though.
plan, they would have killed Osama bin Laden? No. They landed and they knew they had a mission. We had a mission. They crashed their helicopter and they still
Alright,
got
it's
the
also
mission
the
done.
last video of the
I
night.
didn't want to kiss that ugly ass.
I have to
girl.
edit this shit
know
off of
you did. I
YouTube,
didn't want
and
to
I
either, but
don't
she-
want to pull
okay,
all
listen, this
nighter
was the plan.
again.
The plan was to invite Penelope over, right? Because I want to get back with her. Cody was going to kiss Ken. I was going to kiss Penelope, and you were going to kiss ugly Elizabeth.
I understand, but I can control the, events.
You couldn't control. Yes, you could control the events. If you were kissing ugly Elizabeth like you were planned to do, then Penelope would have anyone kiss, and then she'd kiss me, and then the fireworks go off, and then we'd be meant for each other, and then we'd be back together.
Hey, she put her lips against mine. That's not my fault, dude.
It's your fault. You could have said no. Who are you texting?
Penelope.
Why?
Because she said she wanted to see me tomorrow.
What? No,
We're on a date.
No, not date.
Yeah.
No.
What?
This is when you gotta slime out your homeboy.
Nah, she called this.
Slime that nigga out.
You know what? No, I got a new plan. We
Never
can fix
mind.
this. We can fix this.
Fix what?
Okay, set
I'm
a
not
date for
thug.
tonight. Say come over to Junior's house or a date with you. I'll paint my face black.
What, Junior?
What?
I already don't like this plan.
Yeah, I don't think this is gonna go.
Well, I'm not gonna record it.
It will be.
Bro trying to be like
Yeah.
Kevin
Someone's
Leonardo
gonna
that one
record it. It's
time.
probably gonna be me.
Okay, fine. We won't go that route. Wait a minute. I got an idea. Wait. It's not midnight where we live yet. It's only midnight Eastern time in New York City where the ball drop was. We live in Pensacola, Florida, which is Central Time, Chicago time, basically, right? So it's not midnight here yet. You can invite the girls back over, because when it hits midnight here, we can kiss again, and I can kiss Penelope, you can kiss ugly Elizabeth, and then Penelope will feel that my lips are softer than Joseph's, and then she'll want to be with me.
I don't want to kiss Elizabeth.
Okay, you know what? You and Elizabeth can go get drinks right before it hits midnight. So it's just me and Penelope, Cody and Ken, and I kiss Penelope. My lips are softer than Joseph's. She falls in love. We get back together.
I don't know if they're gonna want to come back over, Junior.
Invite them back over. It's not midnight yet. Say, come back over. Tell them we have snacks.
Oh
We
hell
have
no.
snacks.
Tell them we're gonna have snacks. That Joseph can go get the imaginary snacks before it hits midnight, and I kiss Penelope, and if she feels my lips are softer, because they're softer than Joseph's.
No, they're not.
Well,
Yes, they are.
I put on Carmax.
if you guys want, I can kiss both of you and tell you whose are softer.
Hey, chill out, dude.
Wait. What? No.
Chat, that
It's
might
just for
work.
science, I mean, I'm completely unbiased. I don't give a fuck. I'm
Hey,
kissing
you
both
look
of
too
you.
freaked out, buddy.
I mean, I'll just tell you. I mean, you want me?
No.
I can give you my honest opinion.
Oh hell
We don't
no.
want your opinion. We want Penelope.
We all got that one homeboy that's just
go
like
invite
him.
the girls back over, please.
Comment down below
Yes.
who's that homeboy.
You're not kissing Penelope this time.
Watch me.
Oh. Is this a competition now? What does that mean? What the? Oh, it's on.
Ain't kissing that ugly ass girl.
Oh, you don't have to. What? I'm scared.
Yeah, you better be.
What?
So why did you invite me over for another countdown?
You just couldn't get enough of this, huh?
Get the fuck away from me. God damn.
Because
Oh, hell no.
the first ball drop was Eastern time in New York City. We want to have the midnight ball drop at Central time because it's not midnight here yet. It's only midnight in New York City. It's only 11:53 here. So when the ball drops here, we want to have another countdown.
Why are you mad?
Because I just learned about time zones and I'm mad about it.
You just now learned about time zones?
Yeah, I think it should be the same time everywhere all at once.
But Junior, then it would be like
Nigga,
midnight in other.
I'm not like that, bro. What the
No, I
hell?
don't care about other countries. America's #1 and they can just go off our time.
Understand.
I might act gay, but I will never kiss y'all.
Joseph, you and Ugly can go downstairs and get treats.
Maybe I'll
I'm
kiss
not
y'all.
going
But I want to do
nowhere.
it to this
What the
extent.
hell?
I need you to go get downstairs and ask Chef Pee for the snacks for the ball drop. Hey, Cody, what's the longest snack to make?
I don't know. Fucking Stromboli.
You can go ask Chef Pee to make us 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 strong bolies.
I guess so. Come on, ugly ass. Let's go and see if he got some strong bullies.
Yeah, 5 of them, and the
Strong
longest one's
bullies. What the fuck is that?
Oh, well, what's that? What's that? Oh, I got the time wrong. It's 11:59. Oh, it's 10 seconds till midnight. You count down.
It's 11:55.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6.
She gonna kiss Cody. Just watch.
3, 2, 1. Happy New Year again.
You killed it! What did you do? Get the date! Get the date!
No, you're supposed to kiss me. You're supposed to kiss me. Oh, fuck this.
Bro.
We're gonna do it again. We're gonna do it again. We're gonna do Albuquerque time, and if we don't do that, then we're gonna do Los Angeles time, and if that fails too, we're gonna do Hawaii time.
What?
You were talking about? You were supposed to kiss me, Penelope.
Ew! Why?
What the fuck are you, Joseph? This is strong bullies.
But shit, he didn't have any strong bullies.
Let me finish. You were supposed to kiss me, Penelope.
Ew, Junior, we're not together anymore.
Oh, hell no.
I wasn't ew. You're saying ew. You know what's ew? That's ew.
Yeah. Goddamn. That's you caused COVID.
That is ew, Penelope.
Junior, you made it cry.
It is wild work.
Oh, and listen, you were supposed to kiss me. The whole point of inviting you over for New Year's was when the ball was supposed to drop, I was supposed to kiss you, you were supposed to fall back in love with me, and we were gonna date again.
Oh, Junior, I'm so sorry, but actually, Joseph and I have plans to hang out tomorrow, so that'd be weird.
Yeah.
Oh, we did,
Oh, that is it. No. You're not dating my ex-best friend if he says yes.
Why not?
I dated her. I dated her first.
What is she looking at me?
Slime out your homeboy.
Bro.
Hey, Joseph.
What's poppin', Slime?
I'll see you tomorrow, Joseph.
If you hang out with her, Joseph, we will not be friends anymore.
Well, deuces, nigga.
Cody, you saw that?
I didn't see any
Oh,
of it. She
homeboy.
didn't get the tape. Ken is losing oxygen to his brain. He could be brain dead.
He's a doll, dude.
You said deuces.
He's not a doll, and he might be a vegetable if we don't help him.
Okay, that is it.
Bruh.
Cody, I just want you to know, Joe's not our friend anymore. He's not invited to our friend group here. He's out of the Skeeter boys. Out of the Skeeter boys, Joseph. Next time you see us on this couch, there's gonna be a new third member. A new third member.
It's not gonna be that fucker with the glasses again, is it?
Harry?
Yeah, him.
What happened?
Fuck! Shit, I'm getting the fucking tape.
Alright, W vid. Why am I stuttering over my words? We end the stream, nigga. I'm too tired. I gotta stop the recording. Yeah, I'm out of it, cuh. I can't lie. I'm out of it, cuh.